Okay, now they're gonna go live.
Number 18 this season and is a 2024 captain. Peter will be graduating this year with a degree in kinesiology and 2 minors in coaching and strength conditioning. Peter is being escorted today by his parents, Travis and Ryan, his siblings Jack and Tyler, and his grandparents Evie, Pete, and Bill, and his girlfriend Kylie. Ladies and gentlemen, number 18, Peter Gibson. Our next senior is number 20, Thomas Brown. Thomas is a defensive back from Washougal, Washington, and a 2022 graduate of Washougal High School. He is a 4-time Jesus recipient and is currently awaiting acceptance in the physical therapy school. Thomas will be graduating this year with a degree in kinesiology. Thomas is being escorted today by his wife Christina, his parents Jennifer and Aaron, his siblings Amanda, Reed, and Shane, his grandfather DJ, and his cousin Tripp. Ladies and gentlemen, number 20, Thomas Brown. Our next senior is number 26, DJ Kirby. DJ is a running back and defensive back from Fort Worth, Texas, and a 2019 graduate of Kennedale High School. He will be graduating this year with a degree in interdisciplinary studies and minors in visual arts, coaching, and business. DJ is being escorted today by his mother, Martina, brothers Trey, Brady, and Kyle Mills. Ladies and gentlemen, number 26, DJ Kirby. Our next senior is number 27, James Oaks. James is a linebacker from Laurel, Montana, and a 2021 graduate of Laurel High School. He has earned BS honors and will be graduating this year with a degree in business administration, along with a minor in small business management. James is being escorted today by his parents, Chris and Wendy, and his siblings Kate, Alex, and Otis, and his girlfriend, Morgan. Ladies and gentlemen, number 27, James Oaks. Our next senior is number 33, John Mears. John is a kicker from Belgrade, Montana, and a 2020 graduate of Belgrade High School. He earned academic All-American in 2022 and 2023, and also earned first-time All-Conference honors in 2023. John will be graduating this year with a degree in physical education and health K through 12. John is being escorted today by his parents, John and Lois, his siblings Lucas, Quincy, and John, his niece and nephew Zoe and Bosco, and his cousins Joseph, Blaine, Sarah, and Juliana. Ladies and gentlemen, number 33, John Mears. Our next senior is number 37, Renner Bushfield. Renner is a tight end from Billings, Montana, and a 2020 graduate of Billings Skyview High School.
Little kid out there.
Graduating this year with a degree in physical education. Renner is being escorted today by his parents, Brett and Cody, his brother Rob, and his grandparents, Michael, Marty, Mike, and Kathy. Ladies and gentlemen, number 37, Renner Bushfield. Our next senior is number 41, Noah. Remember, Noah is a defensive lineman from Saratoga, Wyoming, and a 2021 graduate of Saratoga High School. He is a two-time NAIA Dictronics Scholar athlete and has earned academic consecutive semesters and is a Pi Alpha Sigma inductee. Noah will be graduating this year with a degree in business administration and a minor in small business management. Noah is being escorted today by his parents Trent, Christina, and Rob, and his brother Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, number 41, Noah Rimmer. Your next senior is number 49, Luke Pennyhoe. Luke is a tight end from Mena, Hawaii, and a 2020 graduate of Mama Hawaii High School. He is graduating this year with a degree in environmental sustainability and a minor in natural resource management. Luke is being escorted today by his parents Richard and June. Ladies and gentlemen, number 49, Luke Pennyhoe. Our next senior is number 51, Boston Peters, Ethan Sawyer, Sydney, Montana, and a 2021 graduate of the City High School. He will be graduating this year with a degree in environmental science and a minor in geology. Boston is being escorted today by his parents, Dan and Carrie, and his brother Max. Ladies and gentlemen, number 51, Boston Peters. Our next senior is number 60, Marcus Lombard.
Is this yours?
Marcus is a center from the Hawaii and 2020 graduate of Kahuka High School. He has earned first team All-Conference honors, third team All-American honors, and is a 2024 team captain. He will be graduating this year with a degree in mathematics. Marcus is being escorted today by his parents Brian and Silo T, and his siblings Stephen, Tishu, and Ki Li La, and his girlfriend Sarah, her mother Julie, and her brother Billy. Ladies and gentlemen, number 60, Marcus Lombard. Our next senior is number 65, Keith is an offensive lineman from Deer Lodge, Montana, and a 2020 graduate of Monroe County High School. He will be graduating this year with a degree in business administration and a minor in small business entrepreneurship. Keith is being escorted today by his parents, Dean and Colleen, and his family friend, Jamie Simpkins, his coach and friend, Justin, and his bros, Noah and Tanner. Ladies and gentlemen, number 65, Keith Kippenham. Our next senior is number 67, Thomas Rocco Bakari. Rocco is an offensive lineman from Carroll, Montana, and a 2021 graduate of Glacier High School. He earned second team All-Conference in 2023. He will be graduating this year with a degree in environmental science and a minor in wetlands management. Rocco is being escorted today by his parents Chris and Shannon, his step-parents Todd and Christina, his sister Kylie, his step-siblings Colt and Cole, and his aunt and uncle Sue and Jay. Ladies and gentlemen, number 67, Rocco Bakari. Our next senior is number 68, Chucky Rayrock. Chucky is an offensive lineman from Browning, Montana, and a 2021 graduate of Browning High School. He is a six-time Dean's List recipient. He will be graduating Eden Wells. Our next senior is Nicholas Whithelm. Nicholas is a student assistant coach from the offensive from Power, Montana, and a 2021 graduate of Power High School. Nicholas has helped the Bulldogs to 2 Frontier Conference titles and has earned Dean's List of honors. He will be graduating this year with a degree in kinesiology. Nicholas is being escorted today by his parents, Willie and Kristen, his siblings Jackson and Taylor, and his grandmother, Carrie. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicholas Whitman. Our last senior is Josie Thomas.
Good afternoon, football fans from Bulldog Stadium. Exciting Frontier Conference football. I'm Wally Felt along with Tanner Harrell and our director-producer, Brett Wiebe, and welcome to what could be the game of the year in the Frontier Conference as unbeaten in the Frontier, Carroll College comes to town to face the Bulldogs. Bulldogs with just one loss. Both teams overall are 7-1, and Tanner, as a former Bulldog alum, do you want to be out there?
I don't know about that, Wally. I'm living for this right now, though. I'm super excited for this. Both football teams, honestly. They've got a huge opportunity today. Couldn't be better weather. All these guys have earned this all year throughout the year. This is probably the first time in a few years where it's really one game decides the conference truly. Western can win a share of the title with a win, and Carroll will take it outright if they win. The stakes couldn't be higher.
Well, and you mentioned the afternoon. What a perfect afternoon. And, you know, you played 4 years here. Can you remember ever going through a season without having snow or icy cold weather?
Exactly. Today is probably about 55 degrees, and this is easily the best November game we've probably ever seen in Dillon, Montana. I can tell you that, and the weather couldn't be more perfect. There's a ton of fans here. The atmosphere is going to be off the charts today.
Well, Donnie Keltz, longtime Bulldog booster, he said this is the first time in he didn't know how long that he wasn't called to bring his little plow down and plow the field.
I would imagine it's the first time in a very long time that a November football game will be played with at least 0 elements. No more grass fields in the conference. This is going to be one of those days where there's no outside external forces on the game. Today it is just about two football teams battling it out.
The only thing,
Carey.
5'10", 190-pound redshirt freshman from Great Falls, CMR Russell. He picked up, looks like about 4, so we'll call it 2nd and 6 Saints. First possession of a very, very big football game. Purka, another handoff. Nope, he fooled me.
That was a great little play fake there. What we had there was a little bit of a counter play to the running back, had 2 guards pulling. Great job by the Bulldogs to make the play in the backfield.
And it looks like, about a loss of about 1, or are they going to call it even?
It looks like it's about even. Big third down here. I talked to Coach Martello this week. He talked about getting them in these 3rd and medium, 3rd and long situations and letting the pass rushers eat today, Wally. I expect these guys to have a very good day. Carroll's offensive line has given up 17 sacks in the last 3 games. That's a matchup to watch out for today.
Okay. You, last year at this very time, you were one of those guys on the front line.
I certainly was, Wally, and it's really awesome to get to see these young guys get out here and get to compete in this atmosphere. They're calling a timeout the first play of the game. That just shows they couldn't get the snap count in, couldn't get the play in, something of those sorts. Bulldog crowd showing their muscles early.
Okay, well, we've got timeout on the field. We'll take our first timeout on the Bulldog Sports Network. You would. We're back at Bulldog Stadium. Bulldogs coming off from a little meeting with their defensive coaches up against Carroll. It is 3rd and 6 Saints, and the Bulldog crowd is getting loud. As Tanner said, that's the 12th man on the field for the Bulldogs. Back to pass.
Tyler Walker,
Test
early
out.
pressure.
Oh, and almost a pick there. Good defense applied by the Bulldogs. That was Aiden Prado. Almost came away with a pick.
Yep, and that was a huge play by Tyler Walker in the middle. Little swim move on the offensive center guard in that A-gap. Huge job getting an early pressure on Perka. I know that teams that are able to get pressure on him, it's a little tougher to sit back there in the pocket and make those confident throws when you got people in your face.
Well, they say what a good quarterback can get the ball away in about 4 seconds.
It's even less than that. Honestly, you want to see it on a play like that. When it's about 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, you want to get that ball away even quicker than that, Wally.
So Berger with the punt, and Eli Norris picks it up at the 11, avoids 1 tackle, Carroll does a good job of special teams and brings Norse down at the 15-yard line, and that's where the Bulldogs will grab their first offensive possession.
Special teams, I think, could be a huge factor in this game today, Wally. That was like a 55, 56-yard punt right there. That's a huge play to early start the game, get the Bulldogs set up inside the 20. Carroll's defense has played so well all year, probably the best defense in the Frontier this year statistically. It's going to be huge for them to create these long fields for the Bulldogs to make them drive the whole way.
Flip the field even if you don't succeed on offense. Okay, Michael Palandri is set in the backfield. Jake Humphrey for the Bulldogs, and they've got wide receivers, 2 to each side. Back to pass Palandri, and he's chased out and he is sacked. So good job on the Carroll front as they get in there. Garrett Warden in there first.
That was actually Hunter Peck, Wally, number 19,
okay.
I believe. Number 19, he plays nose guard and a little bit of DN. Carroll kind of runs a little bit of a funky three-front where all three guys are interchangeable, and they're going to be changing around. Hunter Peck, great player last year, Frontier Conference Defensive MVP candidate. Another big sack for him. I believe that's 5.5 on the year. They've really got to be able to control this defensive front.
And 10-yard loss, basically, so we're going to say 2nd and 20. And Humphrey, he gets big yardage.
Ball's on the ground,
and
Wally.
fumbles the ball. And the ball is picked up, and Carroll scores.
It's going to be a touchdown for number 16.
Braden Orlandi with the loose ball, and quickly Carroll on the board with a defensive touchdown.
These Frontier Conference game, Wally, when you give up these defensive touchdowns, things can really switch up in a hurry, and it can really change momentum. Bulldog defense gets a stop early. Something bad like that happens. You have to look for the offense to come back out. Fresh start. That's just how things sometimes go.
So 6-zip Carroll, and we've only played 2.5 minutes. And Berger is set to kick the extra point for the Saints.
Carroll only averages about 31 points a game. It's big to get a defensive touchdown on the board early.
So the touchdown or the extra point is good. And very quickly, it's Carroll College 7, Montana Western Zippo, and we'll be back with the Carroll kickoff after this on the Bulldog Sports Network.
For both and
Bulldog Stadium. Carroll on the board very quick with a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and that was Orlandi for the Saints. And the Bulldog offense, they need to get something going to stay in step with the Saints. And as Tanner mentioned, Carroll, the best defense in the Frontier, and they showed why.
They allow some of the least points a game in the conference, Wally, and they do a really good job. And like we were stating earlier, when they make the Bulldogs drive the field 80, 90 yards, when you have them in backed up territory, it makes the playbook really, really thin. And that makes it even worse when you have a little bit of a mental error to start the game. It can really kind of shake the momentum of things where it's not as much even keeled as it was after the first drive.
Well, and you look at last week, and they try something fancy, little short kick. And Bulldogs got good position.
I would assume that that's a strategic thing, Wally. They don't want to kick the ball to Tanioka and give away any momentum. I think that they have enough confidence in this defense to give the Bulldogs the ball at the 40 for right now.
Well, yeah, the way they played, 3 was third possession, third Bulldog play, and they recovered a fumble.
Yep, and number 91, Forrest Suero, number 9, Garrett Warden, number 19, Hunter Peck, 3 of the best D linemen in the Frontier Conference. They've been great since they were young freshmen, and now they're all seniors. I believe Suero is a junior. They've been playing together a long time.
So Michael Palandri in shotgun. Humphrey right next to him. And a quick pass out to Norse, and Norse is met by Carroll DBs.
There's going to be a hold on the outside, Wally.
Gunnar Julio, that's the Western connection. Hunter Julio, the linebacker who made the stop on that. His dad was the assistant coach for T.J. Nelson when the Bulldogs won the national wrestling title.
That's awesome.
His mom played basketball here, and his grandpa is in the Basketball Hall of Fame. His grandpa is one of my college teammates.
Like we talked about last week, Wally, it's really awesome to see all the connections. We had a hold on the field. I believe it was on Dylan Shipley. It's going to create another 1st and 20 situation for the Bulldogs, and they have to quit making these mental errors early. These penalties have killed the Bulldogs all year. They're the number 1 penalty team in the Frontier. Carroll is actually towards the bottom with least yards a game. This is going to be a huge thing to watch throughout.
Well, they're forced back, as Tanner said, another 10 yards. So first down and 20 for a Bulldog first down, and you might as well say first down and 40, the way that the Carroll defense has opened up this game.
I'm interested to see some of these simulated pressures they're bringing, linebackers rolling up, rolling back. It's hard to see who's coming on this play.
So Palandri is knocked down again, and another fumble.
He can't get up with the ball, Wally. That should be a dead football play at the 20-yard line. You can't get up in college, but the refs seem to have missed it. Another huge momentum play like we talked about last week. This is one of those sudden change situations. The Bulldog defense is going to have to stand tall here in the red zone.
Well, and Carroll, they're doing what has been a very prominent defensive technique. Punch that ball out.
Yep, and that was a strip sack there. It looked like Garrett Warden got the ball out on that play off the edge. Like we said early, the Bulldog offensive line is going to have to deal with this defensive front before anything else happens in this football game.
Well, a short field for the Saints. They have first and goal on the Bulldogs 7. They already lead 7-0, and we're only 12:07 into the first quarter. Bulldogs haven't had this kind of pressure all year long.
No, they've actually only given up 8 sacks all year. 2 sacks in a game is very rare for this offensive line this year. But like we stated earlier, this defensive line is tough. They are gritty. They are going to do everything in their power to make sure that this offense doesn't score. Those 3 guys up front are 3 of the best in the conference, no doubt. They have been for years. They run a really difficult defense to see who's coming, see who's not. I look for the offensive line to settle in, though, here pretty quickly. Get the nerves out. It's senior day. Big stakes. Sometimes those nerves don't get out soon enough.
Well, there must have been a timeout called because everybody's taking their time getting back out onto the field. And I don't see any injuries anywhere, so
I believe they're reviewing. They're reviewing the call. So like I said, while he picked the ball up while he was on the ground and then got up and run, this isn't the NFL. You're not allowed to do that. Once you grab the ball on the ground, it's a dead football play. So that ball should be back out around the 20.
And this is a Boise crew. The referee is Greg Tuttle. The umpire is Jay Gomeza. The head linesman is Nick Stern. The line judge, Scott Orr. The field judge, Marcus Slocum. The side judge is Scott Tundo. And the back judge is David Britek. And that right now, they are back in the instant replay tent.
So a quick thing to talk about here, Wally, with the fumble and the forced fumble by Carroll. When the offensive line doesn't know who's coming, it creates certain problems with protection because when you have a linebacker, certain linebackers coming, you don't know which one's coming, you're preparing for the pressure. It makes you just so hesitant right out of your stance to just think, okay, do I have my outside, do I have my inside covered? And that was what kind of happened on that play. A little bit of a short set from the right tackle. Guy gets around the edge. Mike goes to throw it, and it's an easy strip sack. I would look for Coach Jed Heffernan for the Bulldogs to figure this out. They have that huddle sideline, it's called. You can look at everything on the iPads, diagnose what's going on. I would imagine they're going to get that cleaned up real quick.
Well, this is about, 5 minutes they've been studying that instant replay?
It's a really great tool that they've brought here to the Frontier Conference. I mean, the difference between having the ball at the 6-yard line and having the ball at the 26-yard line creates a huge difference. Carroll's red zone percentage this year is below 50% in touchdowns. So it's a big deal for the Bulldogs to have the ball out at the 26 and try to get a stop here early and stop the bleeding, so they say.
Yes, yeah. Well, they're still over there. We can see the tent. It's back over in the corner by the scoreboard, and now the officials are coming out. We're going to get an answer.
So they're going to have the ball at about the 22-yard line. Wally, like I said, he was down with the football. That's a huge swing in momentum. Yes, they got the strip sack, but now you have the ball outside the red zone. The defense got a few minutes to gather themselves. It wasn't quite the sudden change moment like I was bringing up earlier. Now they had time to talk to Coach Martello, gather themselves, but also the offense. I believe their play caller is still Alex Fanasteel, great coach, Carroll legend. I believe he had the chance to talk to his offense, get a little bit of a game plan as well.
Okay, 1st and 10 now, Saints. Purka in shotgun, and the running back is Archie Laferge. First and 10, Saints. Pass. Oh, nice coverage by the Bulldogs, but the pass was completed, and that is Chris Olkolchin.
I believe you pronounce it Askelson as much as it looks like. I believe that's how it's pronounced.
Okay. We've got a pronunciation chart somewhere.
We'll look for it, but at the meantime, great job by Braden Swank. That was just a really good throw by Perka. If you let him sit in the backfield like that, he is going to make some of those throws.
Give him the time. He's going to make the throw. Oh, and that time, that's a running back that's not in the depth chart.
On the Carroll, that was Asher Croy, running back out of Huntley, Montana. I actually got to play against him in high school, Wally. He comes from a great family, great dad. His dad was the coach at Huntley Project. He's a transfer from Montana, from the Grizzlies. He got time in their running back room, a great running back room in the spring, and now it's interesting to see how many carries he'll get here today against the Bulldogs.
So 3rd down and handoff up the middle. Oh, and he's going to is he going to get that?
It looks like it's either going to be close. That was Ryan Rickman on the carry for Carroll College, or did Perka carry it? Was it a keeper?
I think Perka carried it. Now, you're probably where you're going to go for it. Carroll's going to go for it. They're going to take advantage of this.
I would assume so. Early on, you've already got the momentum. I don't see a way. And so here it comes. This is a defensive package that they've put in. They've been putting Brett Tomasini in at running back. He's a linebacker who transferred out of Boise State. Last week, they would have 3 D linemen in the backfield and him at running back. They scored 2 touchdowns that way against Southern Oregon. It'll be really interesting to see how the Bulldogs match up with that.
Well, we've got a timeout, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more on the Bulldog Sports Network. We're back at Bulldog Stadium. Carroll in the huddle, and 4th and about 2.
And here comes that heavy package, Wally, with Tomasini and 2 other D linemen in the backfield. Garrett Warden also at tight end.
Perka right up over center, and he's going to,
that's a huge play.
Good play by the defense.
James Oakes on the play, Wally. That's a great way to start this football game out. I don't believe they ran that little naked boot last week. Great job by James Oakes staying disciplined.
Well, we talked about, Carroll's defense. They got down to Southern Oregon last week, 17-7, and then held them scoreless.
And I believe they held them under 100 yards in the second half. They played really good football. And here we go. Carroll's defense right back to it. Let's see if the Montana Western offense can get something going here.
Well, yeah, maybe this is that momentum swing the Bulldogs need. Palandri in quarterback. Both Bulldog possessions so far have ended with a turnover. And Humphrey finds his way through the Carroll line, picks up good first down yardage, about 5 yards on the carry. And that's a confidence builder, too, for Humphrey.
It'll be interesting to see how he handles it and if he's a little hesitant coming off after fumbling. But he is one of the toughest kids I know, and I know that he's going to cover up that ball, and he's going to get his yards right here. If they can run the ball on this defense, it'll be something no one's done all year.
2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs from their own 25-yard line. Hand off to Humphrey again, up the middle. Carroll's waiting for him, but Humphrey, even though he was hit right at the line of scrimmage, he picked up a couple of yards.
So I don't know if the fans at home saw it, Wally, but inside Forrest Swearell, they got a lot of really good down blocks out of everybody, and Forrest Swearell was able to set the point, anchor down, and get an arm out for that tackle. If he doesn't get that arm out for that tackle, that's an 8 or 9 yard gain. It's going to be huge to see how Marcus Lombard and him match up.
So 3rd and about 3 for the Bulldogs. This is their 3rd possession of the ball game. Palandri's going to keep it himself, and he gets big yardage, falls down after the first. Are we going to get a flag?
I don't believe so. I believe he kept his hit low enough, and he did hold off. Great job by the Carroll defender. It's really hard sometimes when a quarterback decides to slide. Great decision by Michael Palandri. Get the first down, live to see another day.
So 1st and 10 Bulldogs, ball now marked at the Bulldog 35-yard line. Carroll leads 7-zip. They took advantage of a turnover, a fumble by the Bulldogs, and they returned it for a touchdown on the Bulldogs' first possession. Bulldogs on the move now.
Here comes one of these simulated pressures, it looks like, Wally. You don't know who's blitzing. There's so much movement going on.
Palandri back. He rolls out, passes to... Trying to see who that is over there. I'm going to have to bring my binoculars out.
It looked like it was Eli Norris on the catch, Wally.
So good yardage on first down.
So I don't know if you saw it, Wally, but there was another one of those pressures where Garrett Ward, number 9 from Carroll, had an easy free shot on Mike. It was a great job getting the ball out, but they've got to find a way to get rid of these free shots. He's already been hit 4 times in this game in just about 10 plays.
Okay. We'll watch that. I'll have you watch that. You can keep track. So 2nd and 3 for the Bulldogs, and Humphrey met, but his momentum carried him forward for a 1 or 2 yard gain. So he went right up the middle. That was an off-tackle play?
Yep, and it looks like they're going to bring in their tight package. They bring in Matt Hare out of Washington, like we talked about. He caught a touchdown against Arizona Christian. Luke Kaniho is back today, starting tight end at a Kamehameha, Hawaii high school anyways, and he's a senior, and it's really great to see him come back from injury today, and we'll see how well he can do blocking. He's going to have a huge factor in this game.
So 3rd and 1 for the Bulldogs. Palandri again is going to keep the ball, and he's going to pick up the first down. You know, it's interesting. I did an interview earlier in the week with Braden Swank, and talking to him about how long he and Michael Palandri have been buds.
Yep.
And how their dads played college football together at Eastern Michigan.
It's a super cool story.
It is.
Wally.
And their parents travel from Washington.
Every game.
Okay, 1st and 10 Bulldogs, ball marked at their own 47-yard line. 6:22 remaining in the first quarter. Carroll leads 7-0. Palandri back to pass. Quick pass out. This one to
John Kirkley.
Yeah.
He is one tough son of a gun, Wally. I tell you what, he catches that curl, and it looks like he's not going to get any more yards, and it takes 3-4 guys to tackle him. He is such a tough kid. Another great job by Michael Palandri getting the ball out quickly. It looks like we're having a little bit of trouble up front on the O-line right now, guarding some of these different pressures, and these D-ends, they get a really good head start usually, and right now it looks like they've got a D-end in the back right now at linebacker Hunter Peck.
And Kirkley's catch was a first down. So let's see how this pressure affects Palandri. He's back to pass, chased out of the pocket. He's got lots of room, and he hits Norse, Norse with a big gain down to the Carroll 15-yard line. And you have to hand it to Palandri avoiding the pressure, racing out of that. He got out of the pocket and was wide open.
It's not very often you get to see a quarterback throw across their body. He had a running lane a mile wide, but he finds Eli Norse. That's something those two have a great connection on. It's really great to see this Bulldog offense finally finding their legs.
Well, I'm thinking the nervousness was a factor in that first couple of series.
It's a huge game at home, big crowd. Get those nerves out early and start playing ball.
So 1st and 10 Bulldogs, ball marked at the Carroll 16-yard line. Hand off to Humphrey. Is that Humphrey or Gibson? Okay. Good play by the
Garrett Ward and number 9.
And Eli Aby.
He's another transfer out of Montana State. He played with Jace Fitzgerald at Montana State for the Bulldogs as well, and now he is playing Mike linebacker for Carroll.
Well, and it's good to see these kids that go to the big schools thinking they're going to you'll be able to play a lot, and all they do is sit on the bench, and they come to a Frontier team, they contribute instantaneously.
Well, and I think some of those kids still have that chance, but they're looking to come play with some of their friends, and I know they're loving getting to play in these huge games in the Frontier, Wally.
Palandri back to pass. He rolls out. Oh, and
I think he picked it.
I think you're right.
Nope, they're going to call it incomplete, I believe.
Hit the ground first. Yep, I see the official over there, in back 2 officials signaling incomplete.
I would look for Coach Purcell to potentially challenge this, or they maybe review this. That looked like it could have been. I highly doubt it, but it could be a reviewable play.
Well, there was an official standing right there. But that doesn't always indicate accuracy.
It always depends on the angle, Wally. Right there, he might not have been able to see the ball over the 2 players, but it looks like we're just going to continue play on.
Yep, 3rd and 10 Bulldogs. They need to get to about the 6-yard line for a first down.
A lot of pressure up here. They've got 8 guys on the line of scrimmage.
And they're coming back.
Free shot.
Oh, and Palandri just was lucky just to get that ball away. So I'm guessing we're going to see John Mears check into the lineup. And Mears will be going for a field goal.
Does look like we have a little bit of wind down here in the south end zone.
Is it with us or against it? It's hard to tell by looking.
It looks like it's just a little bit of side to side, but it might be a little swirly right now, judging by the flag.
So John Mears, the football player who used to be a wrestler, now he's a football player who will be a wrestling coach. His kick is up, and his kick is no good.
It looks like it just went outside the left upright. Huge momentum play for Carroll. I know John's going to be tough on himself, but I believe in him, and he'll come back better than ever. He's going to go to the sideline, go over it. It looked like a smooth operation. Just another play for the Bulldogs. That early nerves are showing just a little bit.
So the Carroll will get the ball now. 1st and 10. Do they get it on the 20? Is that where they get it?
Yep, I believe they get it on the 20. It's one of those plays in football where it's kind of like a turnover, basically. When you get that missed field goal, you get the ball right back. The momentum is still on Carroll's side right now, even with a few big plays by the Bulldogs. They're feeling pretty good right now, holding this offense to 0 points through the first quarter so far.
Well, the highest scoring team in the Frontier.
Yep, I don't know the last time they were held scoreless in a first quarter. I'm sure it's been quite some time.
Well, 3:48 left, so there's not much time to put points on the board.
Look for the Bulldog defense to really stiffen up here, in my opinion. I think Coach Martell has had time to talk through things, see what's coming at him, and have a chance to really control the game here.
So 1st and 10 Carroll from their own 20-yard line, leading 7-0 with 3:48 remaining in the first quarter. Pirka back to pass. He's chased out of the pocket looking for someone and doesn't find anybody. The Carroll receiver tripped a little bit. Number 5, Colin Stoddard, he looked like he was going to make his move, and he stumbled a little bit, and I think if he hadn't stumbled, he would have caught it.
I think so, but also if that ball is put anywhere else, that might have been a pick six. Braden Swank had a great break on the ball. So well-placed ball by Pirka. He's playing really well here early. Kenai Waiula had a little bit of pressure on him. It'll be interesting to see if the Bulldog defense can get to him here soon.
So 2nd and 10 now, Carroll. Burka back. He's back to pass. Quick out. Oh, and the Carroll receiver tried to run with it before he caught it. And the ball just went out of his hands. And there's a little nervousness on Carroll's side.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of these early mental errors are a little surprising from both these football teams. Both these teams have played in big games throughout their careers. It's a little interesting to see because right there, that's a 5-6 yard play that sets up third and medium, third and short. And now you're going to be in about 3rd and 10. And the Bulldog defense has got a great pass rush. It'll be interesting to see what they do here.
So 3rd and 10, Purka all by himself. Well, not all by himself. He's in shotgun formation. Back to pass. Here comes the Bulldog rush, and
there's
they
Tyler
got him.
Walker. There's Tyler Walker, Wally.
The Dillon kid, and they got him back at the 5-yard line. You know, I talked to Zach McCrae earlier in the week. There are 9 former Dillon Beavers playing in this game.
Yep, there's a ton of them. There's Dax Graham, Caden Hansen, Connor Curnow. There are so many Beavers on Carroll side, so many Beavers on Western side. Really good play there by Tyler Walker. That's twice now. He's got interior pressure on the same move. Aiden Martin on the outside cleans up the sack. Huge early play. It's never good to be punting out of your own end zone.
No. And I noticed Berger kind of looked back to see where he was standing. Oh, and a little high snap, but he's going to get it away.
There is a
not
flag.
a very good punt. Not a very good punt at all. Only up to the Carroll 40-yard line. Did you say there was a flag?
There is
back
a
there?
flag down on the far side. I want to say it's going to be offside on the defense, but I'm not quite sure.
It's still not enough for a Carroll first down, but is it enough to?
But it's enough to give Berger another punt potentially if it's on Western. Berger didn't have a very good punt there. I would imagine if he gets the ball about that 10-yard line, he's going to be able to flip the field pretty easily.
Yeah, the referee is pointing towards Western.
Yep, offsides on the defense.
You called it.
And actually, they are just going to give them 10 yards from the kick, it looks like. So they're still going to have the ball in plus territory here, Wally.
Yes.
And by plus territory, I mean they're going to have it on.
So explain that one. So they have the choice of not kicking it over, or would you say they give?
Actually, I believe that's one of those penalties where it is just added to the end of the return, so you're just minus yards no matter what.
Okay. There are so many rules, and we got timeout right now. With 2:49 left, it is 2:49 left in the first quarter. I better not get too ahead of myself. It's Carroll College 7, Montana Western nothing. Back with more on the Bulldog Sports Network. We're back at Bulldog Stadium. 2:49 left to play in the first quarter. I'm Wally Felt along with Tanner Harrell, and Brett Wiebe is our producer-director on the Bulldog Sports Network for a big Frontier Conference matchup.
So like I said while we were on break, Wally, I would expect the Western offense to potentially take a shot here. They might just run the ball, but they might want to take a shot out of this timeout with a short field.
So Palandri back. He's back to pass. And he's got room, and wide open over the middle is Kirkley again. Kirkley avoids one tackle.
They're going to say his knee touched the ground on about the 20 or about the 32-yard line. It looks like he was about to break another tackle there, Wally, which could have made things really interesting, but they're going to say his knee was down about that 33-yard line.
So 1st and 10 Bulldogs, and Kirkley making a contribution big time now.
Very early. They're probably selling out to stop Dylan Shipley and Eli Norris. I know they've got a great defensive staff at Carroll, and they've got a good game plan for them. It looks like they're up tight on them right now. Press coverage. It might be man. Who knows with Carroll's defense? They run so many different things you never know, and now they're kind of dropping back.
Palandri hands off to Gibson. I think that's Pete Gibson.
Yep, I believe it was.
And just a couple yards if they give him that much. Well, they're going to give him 2 yards. So nice carry from the Dillon senior and the legacy number guy.
Yep.
Number 18, he wears the MJ Simpkins legacy number 18. So 2nd and 8 now for the Bulldogs. And ball on the Carroll side of the field at about the 32-yard line. Palandri calls out signals, back to pass. Here comes the Carroll pressure. Palandri avoids it, gets out of it, but not all of it.
It looks like he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's another great edge rush there by Hunter Peck. He gets upfield, bends the edge. He is having a day right now. They've got to get him under control, or it might be a long day.
So would you put another back in to just add a little extra blocking?
Against these guys, I don't think you really can. This isn't so much the NFL where you feel like you can't match up well with their other players. You know, you don't see so many chips at our level. But I think that right now you just have to settle in a little bit and see what pressure's coming and just get a good solid pass set and make their plays. These guys are more than capable of stopping these guys.
So 3rd and 8.
They've got 8 guys in the box right now.
And they're
Wally.
coming, and Palandri's back, and he dishes it out to Norse, and Norse gets a touchdown
That's
pass.
a huge play right there, Wally. That is what we are looking for. If you're going to bring 7 guys and only cover Eli Norse with 1, that's what's going to happen. And Carroll is not going to be able to continue bringing 7 guys, or that is going to happen more than once today.
Eli Norse with the 32-yard touchdown strike from Michael Palandri. 6-7 now. John Mears will come in for the Bulldog extra point.
So, Wally, right there, like I said, 7-man pressure. It's very interesting in these 7-man pressures. They had 8 guys up. They brought 7, dropped another one. If they're going to play man coverage on the outside in these games, it is going to be really tough for them to stop Michael Palandri if you even give him 2 seconds to find that deep threat.
Well, and like you said, the relationship between him and Eli Norse, they both came into the program at the same time as starters, and Mears puts through the extra point, and our ball game is tied at 7. 31 seconds left in the first quarter. It's Montana Western 7, Carroll 7. We'll be back with the Western kickoff after this on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience 1, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference, only at University of Montana Western.
His uncle sent me. We're back at Bulldog Stadium. 7-7 the score, 31 seconds left in the first quarter, and here comes the Bulldog kickoff. This one a lot better than the opening kickoff.
Kobe Johnson, another great kick for the true freshman. Ooh, there was a little bit of a gap there, Wally. That'll be interesting to pay attention to as the game goes out. There was a big gap there, but another great tackle. That was number 36, Ace Becker, out of Stanford, Montana, Stanford High School.
Another, that's one thing that I think, and I'm going to use the expression cool, about Frontier Conference football. You have so many kids like yourself that comes from a smaller school, smaller town, and come and has a very successful career playing the sport they love, college football.
Yeah, it's great to see the young kids get out there and play, and he comes from a 6-man school, so it's very nice to see those guys out there making plays.
So 1st and 10 Saints, and a little pitch out. And nice, about 4 yards, 3 or 4 yards on the carry.
Keegan Mufich on the tackle.
And Archie Laferge on the carry. You think they ran into each other in high school? Laferge is from CMR. And
I'm not
Wolfich
sure. I'm
goes
not
from
sure
Butte High?
because I would imagine at some point, but he would have been a junior when he was a freshman. You never know if they really cross paths. You don't know how many of these guys actually cross paths in high school, just depending on the year they played and everything like that. But I'd imagine at some point down the line, I'm sure. Looks like we got quarter.
That's the end of the first quarter. Once again, the score: Montana Western 7, Carroll College 7. Back with the second quarter after this on the Bulldog Sports Network. And well, we're back at Bulldog Stadium. The Saints 2nd and 7 now as we begin the second quarter. Our game all knotted up at 7. Pirka waiting and calling out the signals. And he fades back, and he's pressured. Good pressure by
Kenai Leua. Another good pressure for him. If they get pressure on him here early, it can make for a long day, Wally. Like I said, it's going to be about 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. I'm looking for Tyler Walker, Kenai Leua, Aiden Martin to get after the quarterback here.
Well, it's like you said, it was almost like they needed a play or two just to get settled down, a series or two just to kind of get their feet going in the right direction.
The defense has really stood tall so far. I bet they've only given up about 20 yards, 30 yards maybe so far. It's a really great start for the Bulldog defense right now.
So 3rd and 7, Carroll College. Pirka back to pass, and he's pressured, and now he tries to find somebody. And pass. Oh, good defense.
Great defense by Braden Swank. Looks like he might have got away with a little bit of a tug there.
Push, yeah.
If the ref can't see it at that angle, the ref wasn't going to be able to see that. That is a huge play right there. And like I said earlier, though, Wally, they gave Pirka a lot of time right there. Not really much pressure, and he was still able to deliver a good throw, and Braden Swank just made a better play on defense.
Well, we were looking really quick at stats, and you're right. Not a lot of offensive yardage by the Saints.
Yep, they've only got 11 yards of offense so far, counting that sack, which counts for some negative yards. So, like I said earlier, the Bulldog defense has settled in very nicely so far. Just look for that offense to keep it up. They're going to have good field position again.
Eli Norse he actually pointed. Do you think he was trying to help the official out, showing him where the ball was?
I don't know about that. I think he was probably shouting Peter, getting people away from the ball. Looked like it landed out of bounds. They're set up at about that 39-yard line. Another little bit of a short field here for the Bulldogs.
Good field position. And, you talk to any coach and they say special teams, and you said it earlier, can win you the game or lose you the game.
Absolutely. And when you have defensive touchdowns, offensive touchdowns, that doesn't really matter. It comes down to field position battles in these Frontier Conference games. If they continue getting short fields, they're going to take advantage of them.
So Palandri in the shotgun, and Humphrey back, and Palandri rolls out looking for some room, runs away from the pressure. He's going to get some yards on his own, and he could go out, but he goes and picks up good yardage. Great one from Michael Palandri.
That's another great play by Michael Palandri. We honestly haven't seen that much out of him. Last year as a redshirt sophomore, he made a ton of those types of plays. And right now, it's really cool to see him dancing around and doing his thing. Getting almost 8-9 yards on first down is huge for the Bulldogs.
Well, and he could have very easily gone out with positive yardage, but he picked up another 4 yards. So it is 2nd and 2 for the Bulldogs. The ball is marked at about their own, 47-yard line, did you say? Palandri now, this one's handed off to Humphrey, and Humphrey's up for a first down. he kind of went right through the middle of that Carroll interior and picked up the first down.
First downs like that are a little deflating, Wally. When you feel like you've got him stopped and he gets that extra 4 or 5 yards, sets up a fresh set of down. I seen right here the Bulldogs already have 155 yards of offense, probably now over 170. I believe Carroll gives up less than 350 a game. I've got the stats somewhere here. I'll find it real quick. I believe that they're top of the conference in yards allowed, and right now they've already given up almost 200 yards in the first half, even though it doesn't seem like it.
So Palandri, 1st and 10. Ball marked, we'll say 49, the Carroll 49-yard line. Palandri back to pass, chased out of the pocket. This time they're going to get him for he's right about at the line of scrimmage. So no gain. It depends on how they mark the ball. It could be a loss of 1, but they're going to mark it right on the line of scrimmage. So good pressure by Carroll, and your buddy number 19 in
Hunter
there
Peck,
again.
and like I said, I'm going to continue giving him his flowers all day. He is one of the best in the Frontier Conference. He's able to play multiple positions at about 200 and probably 50, 60 pounds, I'd say. And it's a really big advantage when you have a guy, it says 245 on the roster, probably 250, I'd imagine, during the season. For him to be able to sit back there, play linebacker, DN, nose guard, that is a huge advantage in the Frontier Conference, and he is a great football player.
And it is 2nd and 9 now, Bulldogs. Palandri back to pass again. Here comes the Carroll pressure.
And there he is again, Wally.
And that's the 3rd sack of the Saints. And that was Forrest Suero.
And Hunter Peck cleaned it up again. That's got to be his 4th or 5th pressure, half sack, whatever you want to call it. But he continues to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. And Garrett Warden, another guy I'd love to give his flowers to, 4-year starter for the Carroll College Saints. He's doing a great job. And Forrest Suero has been a starter since he was a true freshman at nose guard. He's doing a great job getting interior pressure. And when you force that quarterback to step up but there's nowhere to go, those edge guys can really eat.
So 3rd and 14 now. They're going in the wrong direction for the Bulldog offense.
3rd and long.
And here comes Palandri in a naked backfield, but we've got a flag.
Looks like it was a false start on the right tackle.
So that's going to push him 5 yards further back. So that'll make it about almost 20 for a first down.
Yep, it's going to be right tackle Rocco Beccari right there. He was just trying to jump the snap count like we see the argument so often in the NFL. These guys are just trying to get an edge, get out to the edge quick. They call it the set point, trying to get to that point where you're feeling comfortable, that D lineman not being able to go around you or inside. So that's a really great job there where trying to jump the snap, but he's got to make sure that he's not making that mental error and giving up, another 5 yards. Makes it 3rd and 20.
And Palandri looking over that Carroll defense, calling out the signals, rolls out.
Ooh.
Oh, and almost a pick by the Saints.
I think he was just throwing it away there while he found somewhere safe to throw it and probably just threw it into the ground. It's a big stop for Carroll College. If they continue to get these negative plays, those are drive killers.
Well, what we have here is, like you said earlier, we have the top defense in the Frontier versus the top offense of the Frontier. So this is the matchup football fans want to see.
Yep, and absolutely. And then it comes to Carroll College's offense. They're an offense that's, struggled to score a whole heck of a lot of points this year. And the defense, is kind of somewhere towards the top. And Carroll's offense is somewhere towards the top as well. So it's kind of a little bit of an interesting battle between both sides of the ball. And it's mostly going to come down to the trenches. Eddie Dewart with a heck of a punt there. Oh, and it takes just a bad hop and goes into the end zone.
You almost want to be like a golf shot and put a little spin on it.
Put a little spin on it, and I'm sure that's what he was trying to do, a little bit of that, but that's still a huge flip in field position. They're going to get the ball about that 20-yard line, and that's a big way to flip the field. Bulldog defense been playing great.
Oh, and one of the officials just took a header. Oh, and he's still down.
Oh, good.
We've got something going on. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience One, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference, only at University of Montana Western.
And what do you do? Is 7-man crew. We're back at Bulldog Stadium, and our crew is now 5.
Yep, that's the situation that we don't really want to talk about or speculate too much on, Wally, but we had an official go down. They've taken him off to get some medical attention, and hopefully he's okay.
Yes, exactly. 1st and 10, Carroll College on their own 20-yard line, 11:04 left to play in the first half, and this game is knotted up at 7. Carroll scored first on a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Bulldogs scored a couple possessions later after holding Carroll on a 4th and goal. Well, it wasn't 4th and goal, was it? It was 4th and 20.
Yeah, 4th and short.
4th and short.
Zone.
And then the Bulldogs scored on a 32-yard touchdown pass from Palandri to Eli Norse. Purka in shotgun. He's back to pass. Here comes the Bulldog rush, and they got him, and he's going to get it away anyway. Ball is caught, but not for any plus yardage. Or was it caught?
Nope, it was not caught. Incomplete on the play. Tyler Walker with the pressure grabbed his legs. That's one of those plays, in my opinion, you just got to call it dead, because if he takes a big hit right there, a flag's probably going to come out. And so I think that's one of those plays where it should be called dead, but he ends up getting the ball off incomplete like nothing ever happened. Another pressure for Tyler Walker on the play.
He's your protege, as I recall.
I don't know about that, but I sure love that kid. I tell you what, it's been awesome. He's one of my best friends, and it's great to see him having success. He followed
you, though, didn't he? Wasn't he your number 2 when you were on the front line?
Last year, yep.
Yeah. 2nd and 10, Saints. Purka back to pass again. This one caught right over, not over the middle, but caught for a nice 12-yard gain. And that was... I missed who that was. Was that
Chris
number 17?
Yep, that was Askelson.
So 1st and 10, Saints. Purka back in. Shotgun once again.
A little bit of hurry up here for Carroll, getting right on the ball, no huddle. Ooh, that's a big gap, Wally.
And lots of yardage. Wow. LaFerge all the way down. Big carry. Big gain for the Saints as they roll into Bulldog territory.
And that was with the Bulldogs subs in for the defensive line, a whole new defensive front in right now. I'm not sure where the gap was. It looked like it hit B-gap front side. They're really going to have to stop that run game if they're going to be able to have that success, get them in those 3rd and long situations. That's the first big explosive play we've seen for Carroll today.
And it's 1st and 10, Saints from the Bulldog 40. I think Purka might have changed the play or changed something, and he's back to pass. Here comes the Bulldog rushers. Pass is over the head of everybody, so that was probably had something to do with the Bulldog pressure.
Yep, another great pressure on the inside. It looked like Keepa Sakalia was getting a little pressure on the interior there.
So 2nd and 10 now, Saints. On the Bulldog side of the field at the 40, 9:49 left to play.
And here comes the Bulldog
First
number
half.
1 starters on defensive line here back in the game. After a big run, you never know what's going through coach's head. Not sure what happened on the play, but their starters are back in the ball game.
So 2nd and 10, Bulldogs. Purka quick out and good defense on the far side by the Bulldogs.
Keegan Movich again on the play.
Called his name a lot today.
Yep, he's the leading tackler on the football team. He's got a chance if they get a few extra games this year to get to 100 tackles. First person, I believe, since probably Joe Caicedo to get to 100 tackles for the Bulldogs. He's doing a great job. But right there, that's that same little screenplay that Askelson dropped earlier, Wally, and that's another big play to at least get it to about 3rd and somewhat manageable, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. It'll be interesting to see what kind of pressure the Bulldogs bring here.
And once again, both teams now settling down. That I think the nerves are gone.
Yep.
Pirka. Back to pass. Well, we'll be back. Nope, he's back to pass. Nice fake. Oh, into a wide open Furga.
That's a huge play right there, Wally. It looks like they got him stopped before the first down. Great open field. And oh, no.
Oh, and
we've got a player down for Carroll, Wally. That's another running back for them. So the Wally, that's actually their 5th starting running back of the year. They've had 4 running backs get injured, I believe, at Carroll. I really hope he's okay. You just hate to see someone get hurt like that, especially a young kid that's been doing such a great job this year.
Well, we're going to take we can't take a timeout, so. Thank you.
And once again, for Carroll fans,
we're going to take a quick timeout, while we figure out what's going on. Well, nope, that's a good sight. He is walking off the field. Archie Laferge is walking off the field. That's a great sight to see.
It looks like it might have just been a little bit of a shoulder stinger, judging by them holding his arm. Hopefully he's okay. He's a young freshman, been doing a great job. He's probably a guy that coming into the season didn't know if he was going to get too many carries. Like I said, they've had a ton of injuries in their running back room. I'm really glad to see him walk off, and I hope that he gets back on the field today.
4th down and about 3.
And it looks like they're going to go for it again, Wally.
Yeah. Well, if you don't succeed, try again.
Well, I think it's just one of those spots in the Frontier Conference where you don't have a kicker that's going to make, a 50-yarder all the time.
No, and you're in good position there.
And also they believe in their defense. They believe their defense can stop the Bulldogs from right here. So I'd look for them to go on 4th down a lot today. Keegan Muffett is changing something for the defense right now.
Pirka back to pass. Oh, and he picked up the first down. Good play on the Saints.
That's going to be Ryan Rickman.
Ryan Rickman, the 6'1", 230-pound senior from Salem, Oregon, picks up the Carroll first down.
He's been playing a little bit of running back lately too, Wally. Like I said, with the running back injuries, he took a carry down here inside the 20 for Carroll earlier. It's a really good play. Get the ball out into the flat, get a first down.
So 1st and 10 Saints, ball marked at the Bulldog 29-yard line, all tied up at 7 with 8:19 left to play in the first half. Pirka.
That was a really great play fake by Pirka right there. It looked like he had the football.
It did. He
fooled some
me
defenders
again.
Out as well.
He fooled me again.
It was Askelson on the carry. That's one of those plays, Wally, that sets up that 2nd and 7 second. It looks like they're going to give him about 4 yards on the play. 2nd and 6 is a very interesting down for Frontier Conference football, in my opinion, because a lot of coaches open up the playbook when it comes to 2nd and medium, 2nd and short. They're going to be able to throw the ball here, run the ball, kind of do whatever they want and set up for an easy 3rd down possibly.
So 2nd and 6 Saints.
We have a new running back in. It looks like Bryson Bailey, true freshman out of Tacoma, Washington, actually the same high school as Swank.
Pirka chased out of the pocket, and he was throwing to that the young lady over there on the other side of the fence with the black sweatshirt on.
I'm not quite sure, but there's another pressure by Tyler Walker there. Great job getting interior pressure again for number 98 for the Bulldogs. Right there, that was an interesting throw from Pirka because it didn't make it out of bounds. That easily could have been picked off.
Well, it was very close to being picked off by the Western DB over there.
Here we go, Wally. Another 3rd and long situation. Expect the Bulldogs to get after it. Tyler Walker, Aiden Martin, Kenai Lewa. It looks like Cale Van Campen coming off the other edge. Let's see what they can do here.
3rd and 6. Pirka back to pass.
There's that pressure again.
And was that? No, that's Fitzgerald applying the pressure on that one.
Another great job getting pressure on 3rd down. The Bulldogs have been doing that consistently all day. It looks like they're going to set up for a field goal on this one, Wally.
Well, this is kind of iffy. And going against the wind a little bit.
It's in that range where you never know what's going to happen. It looks like it's fairly calmer than earlier.
I'm looking at the American flag blowing against it.
This is Nick Klaus out of Seattle, Washington, sophomore kicker.
Kick is up. And did he miss it?
He did,
Yep,
just off
he
that
did.
left upright,
Same-
just like Mears.
Yeah.
It looks very much like there is a little bit of wind pushing the ball left. It looked like a good operation. The Bulldogs had some good pressure, but just another kick that slides left.
Well, you can see the American flag over here is blowing towards us a little bit, so that's it. Okay, so we have time to take a break, or should we? Let's just keep it here.
Right here, Bulldog offense with a little momentum off the missed field goal. Like I said earlier, it's one of those situations where you get a good turnover, no points, 7-7 ball game. Look for the offense to try and drive the field here.
Well, it's definitely been a defensive struggle for the most part. The offense has scored a total of 14 points between two games, between two teams. And Palandri back to pass. Here comes the Carroll pressure again, and wide open over there is our tight end.
Huge catch for Luke Canijo. That is an awesome to see. He's been dealing with a little bit of a shoulder injury. That's one of his few catches on the season, and that's a huge first down. I look for them to get him involved a little more often. And like I said earlier, when they're bringing so much pressure, there's only so many people to guard the 5 people that are in the route combination.
Well, and the Western wideouts have been so productive, nobody's really that aware of the tight end package.
Yep, and I would look for here soon. They're going to get to kind of their little spread package, get Kelby Tanioka out there as well, and I'd be interested to see how much he gets involved here later.
Handoff right up the middle to, is that Humphrey?
Yep.
Picked up about 6 or 7 yards, and you talked about Kobe Tanioka. We have to give him a little credit, because I have been saying Dylan Shipley scored the first touchdown in Bulldog Stadium, but it wasn't. It was Kobe.
Yep, he got a
Kobe's the
slant
first
over
one.
the middle for about 60 yards. He's another one of our great Hawaiian players that comes from Hawaii, great family, and he's a great football player. And like I was just saying, I hope to see him get involved here early or later on.
So 2nd and about 3, we'll call it a long 3, a short 4. Quick out to Eli Norse, and he's pushed out of bounds after picking up the first down in about 5 yards.
Bulldogs are starting to pick up some chunk plays here, Wally. They're getting it out. They're getting the ball out quick. They're taking the pressure out of it right now, running the football, getting the ball into the flats, quick screens to Eli Norse or Dylan Shipley. That's got to be the game plan right now. Get 5-6 yards at a time, and then that big play is going to come.
Well, if you remember a couple weeks ago with Arizona Christian, when they were able to move the ball, it was doing just what you said, the chunk plays.
It really gets the defense on their toes when they don't know what's coming, whether it's run, quick screens, which is just an extension of the run game.
Palandri back to pass and wide open over there. There was nobody even close to him. That was John Kirkley over there.
And there's one of his old classmates, Daxon Graham, in coverage on the play.
Yeah. Do you think he didn't want to tackle him? Or?
No, I think they were just dropping. They were probably in cover 3 right there, Wally. So when you're in cover 3, he was getting ready to drop back. Nobody got out to the curl flats. That's probably what happened.
And we mentioned the fact there are 9 former Dillon Beavers playing in this game on both sides, and that just shows you the quality of the Beaver program when you have that many kids
absolutely
playing college football and playing good college football on good teams.
All of them are contributors, Wally.
Humphrey up the middle doesn't pick up much, maybe a couple.
But that's one of those plays, Wally, where it sets up 3rd and short. You know, it's 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6. You get it into 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. It makes it manageable.
So do you see Carroll coming in right now and adding a little bit to the box?
Yep, right now I would expect to see one of them simulated pressures, we call them, Wally, where they're kind of bringing guys in. They're rocking them up, rocking them back. You don't know who's coming. It looks like they're actually going to sit back here. It'll be interesting to see if they rush 3 or how many they rush. The linebackers are creeping into the line of scrimmage.
And it's 3rd and 3.
And here it comes, Wally. A got pressure again.
Palandri rolling out. Oh, and he passes. Is that to Kirkley? Kirkley picks up the first. Oh, and he fumbled it.
And it does look like it was a fumble on the play. Kirkley was trying to lower the boom. Great play. I'm not sure who forced the fumble, Wally, but that's one of those things where he was trying to get the first down, and sometimes those things happen.
Well, Kirkley, or the Carroll defense, forces the 3rd Bulldog turnover of the ball game, and they haven't had 3 turnovers in a long time.
I don't believe they've had 3 turnovers in a game in probably almost 2 years, Wally. It's been a while. Michael Palandri only has 3 interceptions on the season. It's been all fumbles today, and right now they're starting to take advantage of Carroll's weakness in the flats right now. You know, they obviously get the fumble lucky enough, but that was another first down throwing to the ball in the flats. I'm sure Kirkley's going to be beating himself up on the sideline, but he'll come back ready to go.
So 1st and 10, Carroll from their own 39-yard line. 3:46 remaining in the first half, and our game tied at 7. And there's another big run by Archie LaFerge.
It's great to see him back in the game, Wally. Right there, a little inside zone play. He cut that backside. That was a really good jump cut backside. They crashed down the line of scrimmage. He cuts it backside, gets about 5 yards.
Good first down carry. Makes it second and manageable for the Saints, which, you know, we've talked about. That's what you want to have on second down.
One thing to look for here, Wally, is if Carroll's going to start hitting some of these intermediate passes, a lot of their passes have either been short or he's thrown it deep. They haven't really hit much over the middle of the field yet.
Aha. So, Purka. Oh, and someone had it. Who's the receiver getting up off the field?
That was J.K. Sheely on the play for the Bulldogs.
And Colin Stoddard, the Saints receiver.
And there you go, Wally. Like I was just saying, trying to get the ball over the middle. That's what he just tried to do. Throw a little slant route, get a first down. Creates another third and kind of awkward situation where the Bulldogs can get after the passer here. I would watch out for maybe a little bit of a draw play up the middle possibly, but I would assume they're going to try and hit these short intermediate routes like they've been doing.
So 3rd and 5 for Carroll. Ball at the Carroll 39-yard line. Purka calls out the signals. Back to pass.
And they're going
chased
deep
out of
here.
the pocket.
That was a great catch on the sideline.
And I'm wondering if they say a DB saying no, but the DB's always going to say no.
Yep, that was number 18 on the play. I don't believe he's
Lincoln Holmes.
Lincoln Holmes. That was a great play there by him. Great catch on the comeback route. There's one of those intermediate routes I was talking about, Wally. That was a throw to the sideline. He runs about a little bit of a 10, 12-yard route, turns it back, gets the ball.
And Carroll wants to go. They're already lined up waiting for the official's whistle. Ball marked at the Carroll 45. Purka hands off to LaFerge, and this time the Bulldogs are waiting for him.
It looked like there was a little bit of a hold on the inside on Noah Rimmer. No call on the play. I could hear the crowd down here kind of going crazy about it. You could see it. But another great play by the edge defender to keep that outside contained and make the play for no gain.
And that was that Brady Mounts that came up to make that?
I do believe so.
Yeah. 2nd and 10 now, Carroll, and something's going on.
2-minute timeout.
It is the 2-minute timeout, so we have 2 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Our score, Montana Western 7, Carroll College 7. We'll be back with the final 2 minutes of the first half after this on the Bulldog Sports Network.
We are champions of character.
We're back at Bulldog Stadium. Final 2 minutes of the first half. Carroll with a 2nd and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Purka in the backfield. LaFerge right next to him. Purka chased out of the pocket. And
He's got a lot of room to run.
Yep. Great play by Purka. He outraced the Bulldog pressure, found an opening and threw it and connected.
And on some of those plays, Wally, with those guys getting upfield, you'd really like to see them take that extra step, then dive. It's kind of a tough football play. I'm not sure what we've got going on. The ref does have his hat off, which means someone stepped out of bounds. I'm not sure. We could have illegal touching here.
Oh, yeah.
It is going to be illegal touching,
Yeah.
I believe. Yep, it's going to be illegal touching on Carroll. On his route, he must have stepped out of bounds. If you come back in and you're the first person to touch the ball, that's a 10-yard penalty.
Well, he was running along the sidelines. That's where his route was taking him.
That's a huge momentum shift for the Bulldogs there. You give up a 20, 30-yard chunk play. Penalty brings it back. I think it's going to be probably...
Do they mark off any yardage, or nope, they're just going to leave it right
It looks
where
like
was.
it just stays, but I'm not.
No penalty yardage, but a loss of a down, you could say.
Yep, absolutely. You don't get to replay that second down. So here we go. Third and short here, Wally.
3rd and 10.
Or third and long, my fault. Third and long again. Third and long again, Wally.
You've been on the golf course too long.
Yeah, way too long. And here it comes. These third down pass rushers for the Bulldogs are looking to get after it.
Pirka.
Going to be another timeout for Carroll.
Carroll wants to say, we need to talk this over now.
Well, like we was talking, Wally, that's a huge shift in momentum having, a first down inside the plus 30. Now you're 3rd and 10 again on your side of the field.
Well, let's look what else is happening in the Frontier Conference today. Eastern Oregon is at number 16, Southern Oregon. MSU Northern at number 13, Montana Tech. Arizona Christian at Rocky. And College of Idaho has the weekend off. And College of Idaho kind of the surprise team in the Frontier.
Yeah, I think that, they lost some really good wide receivers last year. That Andy Peters, one of the best quarterbacks I ever had the privilege of playing against. I've got the privilege to play with two great ones in John Jund and Michael Palandri. Andy Peters is one of the best to ever do it in the Frontier Conference, and he's just had a little bit of an off year. I'm not sure what's kind of going on, but
he got hurt.
It's tough when they have some great offensive linemen over there too, and I'd look for them to at least come back next week. I do believe they play Southern Oregon in the finale.
Well, and remember last year that Southern Oregon College of Idaho
beat them in order to give the Bulldogs the Frontier Conference Championship outright. I would look for them to try and do the same thing, depending on how this game goes. That Eastern Oregon game against Southern Oregon has huge implications. Eastern Oregon wins that game. They're going to be up for a playoff spot if they beat the Bulldogs next week.
So 3rd and 10, Carroll. Ball is at their own 46-yard line. Pirka back to pass. Chased out of the pocket. Find somebody. Oh, and a great defensive play.
It looks like that was Brady Mounts on the deflection. Great pressure inside. It looked like Jace Fitzgerald laid a smashing hit on Pirka. The Bulldogs get off the field on 3rd down again. Carroll is now 0 for 6, I believe, on 3rd downs. They were 0 for 3 earlier when we were handed stats. I'm sure there's been a few in there. 0 for 6, 0 for 5, it doesn't matter. The Bulldogs are getting off the field on 3rd down, and that is a winning formula.
And so Bulldogs, Eli Norse back to receive the punt. And the kickers are not the ones that we got on the spotting chart.
Nope, but this is still, I believe, maybe it's not Spencer Berger punting today. It does look like it is
Norse
that sophomore,
picks up the
Nick
ball
Klaus.
to 20, trying to find room. Oh, and a great open field tackle.
Dax and Graham, I know those two are friends. Eli graduated with his brother Trayton. I was actually just getting to talk to Trayton Graham and Dax and Graham, 2 players for Carroll's dad today. Kent Graham, great guy. Great Dillon native.
Who was a quarterback for Montana Tech.
Yep, and I was talking to him today, and he was talking about how stressed out he was for this game. And I sit here and I think the same thing as a former Bulldog. I know many Bulldogs around the stadium. This is one of those games where you can feel the tension in the crowd, and you can feel what's on the line for both fan bases, all the players, all the people that support each team. It's a really cool atmosphere today here in Dillon.
Bulldogs, 1st and 10 from the 20.
Short time on the clock.
1:34 left in the first half. Palandri back to pass. Palandri runs out of the pocket. Is that Kobe?
Yep, that was Kobe Tedioka. It looks like he's going to come close to a first down. Great job. Oh,
yeah.
They're going to mark him maybe a little short. I'm not sure here. He was trying to get out of bounds. Great player awareness.
So, 2nd, and we'll call it 1. And remember, we got to give Kobe credit. He's the one that scored the first touchdown.
Yep, and like I was telling you earlier, Wally, I'm waiting for him to get involved. And also, Dylan Shipley hasn't caught a ball yet. I'm looking for him to get involved on this drive. A little bit of 2-minute offense here for the Bulldogs. They're going to start throwing it around here. Here comes one of those simulated pressures for Carroll College.
So Palandri back to pass, quick out.
Like I just said, there's Dylan Shipley, Wally.
Yep. Well, you as a defensive backfield going against the Bulldogs, you can't concentrate on just one
No,
guy.
you got to worry about all four guys. Plus, you have to worry about the legs of Michael Palandri. They have 5 wide here, empty formation for the Bulldogs.
1st and 10. Palandri chased out of the pocket. He picks up yardage on the run, avoids one tackler, then another. Then he falls close to a first down.
And like I told you, like I just said, they're in empty formation. You got to worry about Palandri's legs. Looks like the Bulldogs are going to call timeout.
Little discussion with 1:06 remaining, but 1:06 is a lot of time, and I think the Bulldogs have all their timeouts left.
They just called one, Wally.
So they have 2 left. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back with more football on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Out of condition.
We're back at Bulldog Stadium. 1:06 remaining in the first half. Bulldogs with the ball. 1st and 10 on their own 46-yard line. Palandri, naked backfield, 5 wideouts for the Bulldogs.
Here comes another pressure from Carroll. Empty formation.
Quick toss.
So in college, Wally, that clock's going to stop until they get these chains set. So the Bulldogs have a second to get on the ball, get it started before the clock starts again.
So I'm guessing, though, that they probably, in this timeout, they probably called...
Yeah, probably 2 or 3 plays. And
Yeah.
Michael has control of the offense right now. He knows what he's doing.
Palandri to Norse,
Oh,
and
man.
Norse is wide open on the side, and he fights his way for yardage down to the Carroll 18-yard line.
That was a huge block by John Kirkley on the edge. It looked like, I believe that was John Kirkley with a huge block for Norse.
I think he got Mr. Graham. That was kind of a meeting
Yep.
of Carroll and...
Or actually, that was Peter Gibson on that block. It looks like number 18. Another great play by the Bulldogs. Michael Palandri's sitting back right now. That pressure's coming in his face, but he's just dropping it underneath and letting his wide receivers do the work right now.
And we have another timeout. Do we want to take it? How long are the timeouts? 30? So we'll just keep it here.
So we'll fill a little time here, Wally, and I'm going to explain a little bit of a situation here. So the Bulldogs are going to get the ball out of half. And so for them to be able to score right now, go into halftime with a little momentum, they can get the football out of halftime and really make this thing interesting. That's something the great coach Bill Belichick kind of calls like you doubling up a team. You get that opportunity to score before half, and you get the ball out of halftime. It can make for a huge momentum, 14, 20-point swing, depending on what happens.
And, speaking of Belichick, there's rumors that he may be coaching my Dallas Cowboys soon.
There's certainly a chance. There's certainly a chance, it seems like, at this point,
I'm not
Wally.
sure if I'd want to work for the owner, though. So,
Well, Bill Belichick's one of those guys that I think, he's been in the game long enough. I think him and Jerry Jones could find a little bit of middle ground.
Okay, Bulldogs out. Carroll already there. 1st and 10, Montana Western ball, and they're going to say it's closer to the 20 than it is the 18. So, in the red zone for the Bulldogs, 46 seconds remaining in the first half, all tied up at 7. Palandri, and he's got a running back with him in the backfield. Wideouts are kind of in tight instead of spread. Palandri quickly back to pass.
Oh, what a throw.
Kirkley right through his hands. He had it. Now, when you put you go from you having your wideout spread and then you pull them in, is that for blocking more than
No, it's just to create a different little bit of a route concept. You call it condensed, really, or tight, or a pinch type deal with the wide receivers. So basically right there, they were running corner routes. It looked like on the outside, a little bit of a smash concept from what I saw right there. Just a little bit of an overthrow. He's got to be able to feel that pressure a little bit. He had a little bit of a step-up opportunity there for Palandri where he could have ran or maybe put a better throw on there.
Okay, 3 wideouts. And Palandri rolls out and pass. Oh, good pressure by Carroll.
It looked like there was a screen, but it also looked like he was just getting rid of the ball, save the time. It's going to be 3rd and long. They've got a timeout. No need to really panic here. Plus, you've got John Mears.
We were talking about T.J. Nelson, the wrestling coach from the Bulldogs, who won a national championship. Mears is his assistant coach.
Yep, at the high school now, and obviously, hopefully, John has the opportunity to coach for the Beavers someday as well as the head coach of the wrestling team.
He's another one of you guys that came here to go to school, and you don't want to leave Dillon.
Yep, that's how it goes, Wally.
3rd and 10, Bulldogs. Ball marked at the Carroll 20. Palandri chased out. Oh, and good pressure.
Oh, my goodness. This is just one of those deals where there's 2 guys running free, and you just can't allow that to happen in these situations. It looks like they even kept a 6-man protection in, and they are still getting so much interior pressure. Michael doesn't even have time to see who's open. He's been really beat up today, Wally. They're going to have to shore that up in the second half if they want to win this football game.
And Mears comes in along with the special teams. 32 seconds, the time remaining in the first half. And right now, it's all tied at 7. Kick is up. Kick is good. So with that kick, Bulldogs take the lead 10-7. We'll be back with the Bulldog kickoff after this on the Bulldog Sports Network. We're back at Bulldog Stadium. And the Bulldogs, a John Mears field goal.
So I see a lot of fans already going out to the tailgates here, Wally, for halftime. And I don't think that Carroll's going to be passive on this play, depending on what happens on this kick return. They still have time for the opportunity to kick a long field goal if they so take the opportunity.
This is too big a game. I think we used the word huge earlier.
Yep, I would call it that. A lot of stakes. A little bit of a short kick here.
And good special teams play right down at the 20. That's where Carroll will take over.
That's huge. Now, he took about 6 seconds off the clock here. I expect him to take a knee, take it to halftime now. If you get a little bit more yardage there, you maybe take a chance, but I would imagine they're going to take a knee on this and just go to halftime.
Once again, we talk about the importance of good or bad special teams.
Yep, that's a huge play. You give up a big kick return there. They got a chance to tie this ball game back up. You go into halftime with a little bit of a possession lead. Yep, it looks like they're going to knee on the football, Wally.
Yep, they're in the quote-quote victory formation. We may have a special guest at halftime, too. Roxanne Inglet may step in.
Great foundation director.
Yes, yeah. Look at this, and that's why.
Yep, absolutely,
look at this
Wally.
Field. But Carroll did take a knee, so that's going to end the first half. Our score after one half of great football is Montana Western 10, Carroll College 7. We'll be back with stats and a guest and who knows what else after these messages on the Bulldog Sports Network. We're back at Bulldog Stadium, halftime with the Bulldogs leading the Saints 10-7, and in our press box, Roxanne Inglet, and I'm just going to call you the foundation director because your title is like 20. You need 3 business cards to cover your title.
Exactly.
So, but and I know you're not going to agree with me on this, but you're a very big important reason why we're standing here in Bulldog Stadium. All the hard work you did. You pulled together all the different factions, between the Bulldog alumni football players. You worked with all kinds of people. This is 4th game in. What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, it kind of gets me emotional. It's been a long 5 years. When we did the feasibility study back in 2018, and we knew we could get here. The momentum, it just continues to grow, and we still have some work to do, obviously, but when we played that first game here on September 7th, to say that there might have been a few tears, just of gratefulness first of all, for all the people that helped make it possible. I certainly was a catalyst, but there were so many people that made it possible. I just am incredibly grateful and will be forever grateful for those people who stepped up when we needed them to step up and make it happen. Well,
somebody needed to gather everybody together and kind of say, these are your duties. But like you said, we talk about football teams, basketball teams, and the really successful ones are the ones that have the great team chemistry.
Yeah.
The people that you gathered together to put all this together, great chemistry.
Absolutely. The Foundation Board of Directors, I cannot thank them enough for standing behind me throughout this entire process. And, we had to take some risks. And I say this often, you have to get really uncomfortable sometimes for great things to happen. The good things in life don't happen when you're in your comfort zone. The big changes don't happen when you're in your comfort zone. And we lived outside of our comfort zone for about 4 years. We had to make some decisions about moving forward with pieces of this project. The berm is a perfect example. That was an additional piece that wasn't in the original budget. That was $40,000, and there was no question we had to find the $40,000 to make it happen. And that berm has become, the grass on the berm has become an incredible place to watch a game in Bulldog Stadium. So it's, again, there's so many people to thank throughout this process. I certainly was a catalyst, but I could not have done it without my team and without so many amazing people. Wally, for sure.
Well, let's kind of look. So the project is a phased project, different phases. So this is phase 1, what we have right now with the stadium, the berm, the field, which, every time I look at it, I still get, goosebumps up and down. And I know they're working on locker rooms or warming rooms below us in the press box. So what is the next phase of the project?
Sure. You bet. And we haven't even closed out phase 1 yet because the restrooms were supposed to be completed. We had actually anticipated that they would be completed by today, and they're not. But Ari Miller is working their tails off to get that piece done for us. Should everything align the way we hope it will align and we host a playoff game on November 30th, the bathrooms, there's an anticipation that we'll have those bathrooms ready by November 30th. I think we'll be wrapping up phase 1 sometime in December. We have a few things like these press boxes. There's a few things in here that have to get completed in phase 1. We'll wrap up phase 1, finish our financing for phase 1 and some of the some debt financing that we did to make sure that we had what we had in phase 1. And then there'll be a committee that starts looking at phase 2. And I'm certain that phase 2 is going to include completing the locker rooms. That'll be critical. Lights. We'd love to have lights for various reasons. You can host more events here, not just a sporting event, but you can host other events that are going to have an economic impact to this community in this region. And then some sort of bleachers on the far side of the stadium would be excellent. I think that phase 2 will at least include those items, but the committee will definitely help direct that and what things need to be completed in that second phase.
Well, and we've been very blessed with great weather all season long. We have not had a bad day. More people, I think, have talked about maybe the sunburn they got than being frostbitten. And, you get the people that are in the stands in front of us who, sometimes the sun is a little too much. So they move across the way and sit in the berm, and they got lawn chairs and blankets and stuff out. And the fact that changing the way that we do concessions, I know concession stand will be there eventually, but the way that we're doing it now, it makes it, I mean, you're giving the people a whole bunch of different choices instead of just the normal concession stuff.
For sure. And that was Director of Athletics, Michael Feiling. You know, he had a vision for that, and he's really seen that through, and it's been an excellent opportunity to bring in businesses in our community to help them actually promote their product, make some additional money on a Saturday afternoon. And I wasn't quite sure how it would all work out, but it was an excellent idea, and I think it's served us very, very well. And kudos to Michael Feiling, because you look at this game and you think about what it takes to go into a game, the number of people that it takes to run the entry gate and to run the sideline. And I mean, it's been a whole undertaking to get the people in place to pull these games off in the way that they have. And so he and his staff have done an excellent job of just bringing this whole thing to fruition from that sense as well. Yeah.
Well, and we managing the media part too. Managing this part up here, you know, Lindsay Branch. You know, she, Western Sports Information Director and Assistant Athletic Director. You know, we talk about the number of people that Michael, you know, moves around here. You know, and they always used to say that sometimes the groups of people is like herding cats. But both Michael and Lindsay have done a very fine job of getting a staff together, a team of people. And you know, they're flawless in what they do,
for sure,
and very particular on making sure everything is done. So, I was going to ask you another question, but you start talking about concessions, and so
got sidetracked. It is lunchtime.
Oh, it is. Yeah, we got an early start on that, but it's just, I mean. So do you ever just walk over here from your office in the row house and just look at this and say, we did it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every time I step in this stadium, honestly, I just kind of get goosebumps, like you said. Like there was a lot of doubters, and I'm not saying that to be critical. There were just a lot of people that just didn't really think that we could make this happen. And the only way to make something happen is to believe that you can do it. And there were so many people that believed that it could come to fruition, and that momentum just kept building and building and building as we got closer. And like I said, we're going to still need to lean on our community and our alumni and other individuals who see the potential in this institution and the students that we serve to finish this project out. But already I have to think that the community is having an impact. I mean, the number of people, and we're going to do some studies on this. I know Michael Feiling has indicated that the gate already, after the first two games, the gate has been more than we've ever had for a whole season. So we know this is going to bring people to our community. They're going to eat in our restaurants and stay in our motels and shop in our shops. And we just want to continue to build on that and bring more to our community with the phases of this project and the opportunity to bring other events to campus.
Well, and you talk about economic impact. I look at the Bulldog bookstore, the Montana Western bookstore, and talking to Travis Gibson, the manager over there, and the first three games all netted 5-figure sales. The fourth game, it was competing with a lot of stuff and beginning of a hunting season. So not as much, but they still did really good. And Absolutely. I imagine after today, they're going to have another record day. So it's just like it's kind of the domino effect for success.
For sure.
How it just goes around and keeps getting better.
For sure.
Before I let you go, tell us about, you're going to have a special area behind the press box.
Right. Well, on the sides of the press box, our goal for next year is to have some sort of a special, I'm not going to call it suites because they're not going to be inside. They're going to be outside type spaces that we can potentially have game sponsors utilize that space, or have donors who like the opportunity to be in that space. And it is a beautiful viewing area. You get an incredible vantage of the entire field. So we will be working on all of that. And like I said, myself and Director of Athletics Michael Feiling will put together some just some proposals and what that might look like. And for sure, by next season, we'll be able to use that space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Roxanne, I know this is a busy time for you. You're also juggling a lot of things going on with
Yeah.
an event like that. But thanks for coming up and
Absolutely.
visiting. Thanks for updating it on us. And I'm going to let you go.
Yeah.
And we'll
Thanks,
see you
Wally.
later.
My pleasure. And thank you for all you do for Montana Western.
Oh,
we
thank
appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of time out and be back with maybe some stats and more on the Bulldog Sports Network. We're back at Bulldog Stadium, just about ready for the second half kickoff. Both teams moving out into the kickoff positions. And remember, Bulldogs deferred, and they will receive the opening kick of the second half.
All right, Wally. Well, we're back here at Bulldog Stadium, and I've got some stats for you here.
Okay.
The craziest one I'm looking at right now is 62 yards for the Carroll College offense right now on 29 plays. You're talking about 2 to 3 yards per play right now. That is a huge advantage, Bulldogs, right now. The Bulldogs have 266 yards of offense, and we've only got a 3-point ball game. That's how this game has really went right now. The Bulldogs have been able to get big chunk plays, but they haven't been able to finish drives.
So a short kickoff, and Bulldogs will start in excellent field position.
They're refusing to kick the ball to Tanioka right now. They just kicked it to Aiden Martin again, a defensive end for the Bulldogs, getting a little bit of glory here, getting to touch the football. Bulldogs are going to open up at about that 44-yard line, and that's another great starting field position.
And his name said once or twice.
Right now, I would look for this Carroll College defense to come out here and get after it. They were obviously told at halftime, hey, this game's going to fall on your shoulders. We aren't able to score the football right now. You hold them to 10 points, we've got a chance. You don't, we might not.
So Palandri in shotgun. First play of the second half, and it's back to pass, and Palandri right over the middle. It's complete. And I think that's Norse. Is that Norse getting up? Eli Norse off the bottom of the pile picks up about 5 yards on the catch.
So Wally, I would look for the Bulldogs to start hitting these underneath routes. The Bulldogs are not notoriously not great at throwing the short routes. They just don't do it very often because teams allow them to have those big chunk plays. Right now I'm looking for screens, hitches, slants, drags, anything to get the ball underneath and let the wide receivers work a little bit.
Okay, 2nd and 5. We'll see if Coach... Well, and then you forgot to talk about the runs up the middle, too.
Yeah, and Jake Humphrey's had a little bit of success today. You know, he's not averaging his 8-10 yards a carry, what he's been averaging all year. But if they're able to get these first downs off second and, medium situations, it's going to create a little bit of a tired situation for this defense. They don't really rotate these D linemen for Carroll like Western does. It'll be interesting to see if the fatigue factor comes into play. It's not like it's 20 degrees out right now. It's still 55 degrees out.
And the sun's, there's not a cloud in well, there's clouds off in the distance, but that's about it. So 1st and 10 Bulldogs on the Carroll side of the field. Palandri quick out, and this is to Shipley, and he picks up 6 yards.
Like I said, Wally, these short routes, hitches, slants, drags, maybe a screen here or there. The Bulldogs are looking to get 4 or 5 yards at the beginning of these drives, not like the usual 8 to 10 first downs that they want. This is going to be a very great job by Kyle Wantland so far, just picking up 5-yard plays at a time and being patient with the offense.
2nd and 5 now for Montana Western. Ball at the Carroll 39-yard line. Palandri handoff to Humphrey, and Humphrey finds running room, breaks one tackle, finally brought down.
That was a great tackle there by number 0, Elijah Larson out of Sandpoint, Idaho. That was a really great tackle there. That could have went for another 10, 15 yards. And look at that, Bulldogs back-to-back plays with hitches on first down, about 2nd and 5, hand the ball off up the middle, let Humphrey do his work.
Well, quick. It doesn't allow the defense to get ready as easy.
Nope, yep, and they're going a little less huddle here. Right now they're kind of taking their time, but I'd look for them to kind of hop on them early and see what they can get out of this drive.
So 1st and 10 Bulldogs from the Carroll 30, and we've got somebody offsides on the Carroll side, a little over anxious to get in and cause some havoc.
And now we're going to have
your buddy.
Well, yep, there's Hunter Peck, and that's just a little bit of a mental error. He's raring to go right now. He had a great first half. The Bulldogs have played with the snap count a little bit. I saw it in the first half, going on 2, going on the clap, things like that. Right now, I would look for this Carroll College defense. They're going to have to be on their heels a little bit now, right? They're already almost into the red zone. It's going to be 1st and 5. The playbook's wide open. The defense doesn't know what's coming in these situations.
Okay, Palandri. It looks like Pete Gibson. Is that Pete Gibson in the background? We're number 18, the legacy number, right next to Palandri. Palandri looks over the defense, calls the signals, back to pass. chased out of the pocket and brought down.
And look who it is, Wally.
Hunter
Hunter
Peck.
Peck again. That's
Yeah.
got to be 2-3 sacks for him already today. Going to keep giving him his flowers till he gives us a reason not to. He's playing great today. He is keeping this Carroll football team in it. It's plain and simple, just like that.
So loss of a couple on the play, so it's 2nd and 12 now for the Bulldogs. Gibson still in the backfield with Palandri. Wide out split. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Palandri quick pass, turn around, and he finds a wide open Eli Norse who catches the ball for a first down at the the Carroll 20. I guess it depends on how they mark it.
Great play by Michael Palandri. Had a little more time in the pocket there. I can see the Carroll defense getting a little bit worn down right now, Wally. They have been on the field a long time in that first half.
And it seems like the Bulldog offense, Jed's creating a moving pocket for Palandri.
Right now, I think the best thing they can do is just keep him clean right now. Let him sit back and diagnose this defense. Eli Norse has been getting open a lot today. I'm not sure how many catches he has, but it's got to be near 10 already.
1st and 10 Bulldogs. Ball at the Carroll 20. Handoff up the middle to Gibson, and he doesn't get much yardage. He
Great play.
Might have even lost a yard. Yep.
That's Henry Gross with the TFL right there out of Helena, Montana, Capital High School, hometown kid for the Carroll College Saints.
So 2nd and 11 now for the Bulldogs. So the Carroll defense is tightened up, and you were saying the Bulldogs have been unable to execute in the red zone. A lot of that has to do with how tight the Carroll Saints.
I would watch out for a little bit of play action here, possibly, Wally. A little bit of a rollout to the right is my guess. And it's going to be a screen.
To Norse. Norse avoids one tackle, then another, and finally it takes 4 Saints to bring him down.
Like I've talked about last time, Wally, we were on against Arizona Christian, the first man rarely is able to tackle Eli Norse.
Daxon Graham gets off the bottom of the pile. He was first in, tackling his own old teammate, and he picked up Norse's pass. It looked like he got more, but he only picked up about 4 yards. So it is 3rd, and I'm saying it's 7.
Yeah, it's going to be in one of those 3rd and long situations. Another trips bunch formation right here. It looks like Carroll's going to be in man coverage on the play from the looks of it. I'd imagine they're going to bring another one of these hard pressures to diagnose for the Western O-line, and here they come.
Yep. And Humphrey, Palandri gets out of trouble.
And there's Hunter Peck again, Wally.
Bringing him down from behind.
He is having one of the best days I've seen in the Frontier Conference right now. He's got to have 3 or 4 sacks on the day.
He spent as much time in the Bulldog backfield as the Bulldog backs.
Well, and this has him down for 1 sack, 1 TFL in the first half. He's got 2 sacks already here. I'm sure at the end of the game when they count up the statistics, he'll get at least another half out of that. He's got 3 sacks right now, 4 negative plays. This is a very interesting game. He is single-handedly keeping Carroll College in this football game, Wally.
And John Mears stepping in to try a field goal. And this is about a 44-yard field goal. Kick is up. This one is good.
It looks like it was right down the middle, Wally.
Yeah,
Great job by John Mears there. That is huge.
So with that field goal make, Bulldogs increase their lead 13-7. 8:26 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back with more Bulldog football on the Bulldog Sports Network. Back at Bulldog Stadium, John Mears just kicked about a 44-yard field goal to give the Bulldogs a 13-7 lead. And here comes the Bulldog kickoff.
Carroll College has done a great job today, Wally, of they've given the Bulldogs countless first downs, let them get inside their 30, and they've stopped them 3 or 4 times now. And the yards are very inflated because they're driving the ball right down the field, but Carroll College defense is standing so tall inside the 30 right now.
And Hunter Peck, he's got my vote already for Defensive Player of the Week, the way he's playing so
Absolutely.
far.
And like I said, after a game like this, he's probably going to be the Frontier Conference Defensive Player of the Year. He was in the mix last year. And he is going to take the ball.
A couple of steps in the end zone, and he brings it out and breaks through. And
there's going to be a block in the back on the play, Wally.
Yep, and that's going to put it all the way back. That nice return.
That was very impressive by number 31. I said his name earlier. I can't remember it. My apologies. It's going to be Bryson Bailey, the freshman out of Tacoma, Washington. Mount Tahoma High School, same high school as Braden Swank and Michael Blandry and Dylan Shipley.
Yeah. Must be something in the water there.
Absolutely.
But it's too bad because that was a nice run. That set up the Carroll offense.
They're going to be inside that 20-yard line now. Well, and it's a really big deal to be able to take the ball out of the end zone and get it past the 30. You feel like you set your offense up really good, and instead they're going to start with it at about that 15-yard line.
Carroll's trying to get their offense going with good special teams play, and a mistake on special teams cost them a nice return.
Yep. Like we said earlier, penalties matter a lot in a game like this when it's going to be decided by one possession.
So Jack Purka calling out signals, quickly back to pass.
Big pressure by Tyler Walker.
And he just throws it to his coach on the sidelines. Tyler Walker in his face.
That's about his 4th or 5th pressure of the game. He's had a sack already. He's making a big difference in this game for the Bulldogs. And I said at the beginning of the day, if he's able to bring the interior pressure, it's going to be a great day. Carroll College's center, I believe his name's Jaden Lamb out of Townsend. He is a great football player. He started for quite a few years. And it actually looks like a new center is in the game right now, Wally. It's number 61, Ty Henson. Jaden Lamb is not on the field. I'm not sure if he did start the football game. I did not look. My apologies. But that's a young kid in there trying to block a guy that's been playing for a long time.
Well, handoff to LaFerge. And he got a couple of yards, not much, which will make it 3rd and long for the Saints.
And once again, Wally, I'm looking for this interior pressure. Earlier, I didn't notice it, but the center right now is a redshirt freshman, and he's only listed at about 265. Ooh. And in the Frontier Conference, that's very small for an interior lineman, but he's held his own today, especially in the run game. It'll be interesting to see what he does here in the pass game on 3rd down.
Back to pass.
And there's Tyler Walker again.
Chased out, and now
Kenai Leua
sacked at the 5-yard line.
That is a huge play there, Wally. Tyler Walker immediately gets the pressure on the young center. Kenai Leua gets off the edge and is there to clean everything up. He's going to have his heels almost out of bounds here for this punt.
7:05 left, and you talked about how fast the first half of this quarter went.
And like I said, Bulldogs with a little bit of a 7-minute and 30-second possession to start out the game. Carroll took the ball for about only a minute. That defense is going to have to come right back out on the field. A little bit of a high snap again.
Nice high punt, and Norse calls a fair catch. It will be Bulldog ball on the 50. And Bulldogs will take over from there, 1st and 10. And that's excellent field position. Excellent field position to start. Cut your field right in half, what you want to do. So 1st and 10, Bulldogs from the 50.
I think there's a timeout on the field, Wally.
Oh, okay. Well, let's not worry about a timeout. How about basketball? We got women's basketball coming up tonight at the Stroud Gymnasium. Last night, the Bulldogs got their first win of the season as they had a little revenge against Dickens.
Yeah, absolutely, Wally. I watched that game last night, and I talked to head coach Britt Cooper before the game, and she told me that they were much more ready this time around. They lost by 9 in that first game, and to win by 26 at home held them to 50 points. I believe they only had 11 or 12 points at halftime, I believe.
Well, and you look at the fact, too, that the starters didn't play into the fourth quarter.
Yep.
She played her bench into the fourth quarter, and the game was still in doubt.
Yep.
The game was still in doubt. So that shows you that all those new faces that have come into Bulldog women's basketball are going to be competitors, because just like football, all the sports in the Frontier Conference
and the Momberg
are,
sisters are doing a great job. It's great to see those two on the court at the same time, and they're doing a great job.
Okay, 1st and 10 Bulldogs from the 50. Norse in motion. Handoff to Humphrey right up the middle, breaks one tackle, carries a tackler with him down to the 40, so that's a Bulldog first down.
That's a big play by Humphrey there, Wally. So what the Carroll College defense did right there, they stemmed their D-line a little bit, and what I mean by stem is their D-linemen are kind of moving their shades right before the snap. Great job by left tackle Keith Kippenham, senior. Great kid, makes a huge block on number 4. I believe that is number 4 is Denavi Ali. That's a great job by him, being able to block him on the edge after he kind of stemmed outside at the last second.
1st and 10 Bulldogs from the Carroll 40. Palandri back to pass, chased out of the pocket, but he finds a wide open Norse, but no gain right at the line of scrimmage.
So now, Wally, we're seeing some of these underneath routes by Norse, Shipley, Kirkley, Canijo. They're getting the ball to the flats, getting the ball short, getting tackles. They're going to start lulling them to sleep here with these short routes, and we've got to be prepared for that deep shot, which is going to be coming here anytime soon.
So Pete Gibson comes into the lineup, and Humphrey will get a little break on the sidelines. 2nd and 10 Bulldogs from the Carroll 40. Palandri, quarterback keeper, up the middle, and he'll pick up about 3 or 4 yards, not much, before he's pushed back.
A little bit of a late hit there on that, Wally. The refs were blowing their whistle. Usually when you see players thrown down like that, that usually draws a flag. A little bit interesting here.
Yeah.
But they've really let them play today, which I certainly enjoy. I think there's been a few penalties on each side, but they've certainly let the guys play today.
Well, the only person that had to leave the field was an official.
Yep.
So 3rd and 7 now for the Bulldogs. Ball is marked at about the Carroll 37-yard line. Palandri back to pass. And there's that long shot you were talking about.
He didn't. It came out at the last second.
Almost had a touchdown.
Like I was telling you, Wally, it was only a matter of time before that deep shot was coming out.
So, and Palandri
looks to be shaken up on the play. He took another hit. They brought another 6-man pressure, it looked like right there. He has taken so many hits today, Wally. It is going to start being a factor.
And he's quickly into the trainer's little trainer. We don't have the fancy stuff they have.
We do have a new blue medical tent, though.
Yeah. So after a nice little drive.
Oh, they run a fake to Kenai Rayola. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness, Wally. They had the perfect play drawn up. And there was going to be a delay of game on the play.
Oh. That's the most excited I've seen you.
Yeah, that one got my heart rate going a little bit. Wally, sorry to the fans at home if that was a little bit loud, but that was a great play design. Direct snap to the up back. D lineman getting the ball. Now they're going to have to punt it away, but I do look to see them pin them inside the 10-yard line.
We'll see on a beautiful November day.
And this is a great pooch punt.
Yep.
Great job by Eddie Dewart there.
At the 10-yard line, that's where the Saints will take over 1st and 10. And we'll take a break right now. 4:03 left to play in the third quarter. Our score, Bulldogs 13, Saints 7. Back with more football action on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience 1, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference, only at University of Montana Western.
We're back at Bulldog Stadium, and we missed one play, run right up the middle by the Saints, but they only picked up, well, I guess that was a good carry.
Yep,
5
that was
yards.
Bryson Bailey, that true freshman, on the carry for the Saints.
He looks like he has both speed and agility, and he also has power.
Yep, absolutely, and he's another one of these young running backs getting playing time for Carroll College.
And like you said, that's been the big people in the Purka.
Great job by Keegan Mufich on the play, getting out to the flats, stops the play before it ever happens.
And Purka, lots of pressure.
Another third down play here. The Bulldogs, I believe, have still not given up a third down conversion yet, Wally. That's a huge stat when it comes down to Frontier Conference football.
So 3rd and 5, Carroll. Ball is marked at about the Carroll 11-yard line.
So they were 1 of 8 in the first half on first downs for Carroll College. They had another missed one earlier, so 1 of 9. Let's see what the Bulldogs do here. 3rd and 5 is a little different than 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. Let's see how much pressure they can bring on Perka here.
So Perka back to pass. No pressure yet. Here comes some Bulldog pressure. He avoids one, and he passes out, and he picked up the first down. He did a masterful job getting outside that Bulldog pressure.
Great job by Perka there. It's going to be number 18 on the catch.
Lincoln Holmes again.
And he was pretty open there.
St. George, Utah.
It's a great job by Perka scrambling around. Well, if he's able to do that, they're going to be able to pick up some of these chunk plays that this offense has not been able to get today.
So 1st and 10 Bulldogs from the Carroll 21, or excuse me, 1st and 10 Saints from the Carroll 21, and run play picks up a couple of yards. That's about it.
It looks like it's going to be Keepa Sakalia on the play. Great job by him for the Bulldogs playing nose guard. It looks like he has to come off for a play, though. His helmet did come off.
Clock down to 2:20. We're kind of looking right into the sun when we're looking at the clock.
Yeah, and the clock should be running right now. I'm not sure what's going on. There it goes. That's a great play. The 2 D-line comes in for the Bulldogs, gets a big stop on first down. You love getting them in 2nd and 10 situations. They've been running a lot of I formation here with a fullback, I've noticed, Wally. They're taking a little bit of a different approach here in this half.
Purka back to pass, and he's got a wide open receiver at the 10-yard line. Ball is caught by Carson Ochoa.
Great tight end. Great player. He was a really good player for him last year as a freshman. He played, or I believe a sophomore, actually. He was a great player for him as a freshman as well in 2022. Look for them to get the ball out to him a little more. Right now, they're going under center right now, Wally, and they're getting a little bit of a play fake, and it's helping out with that pressure right now. When you get a play fake as a defensive lineman, it does hold you for just 1 second to think, okay, I'm trying to defend a run block here, and then I have to transition into my pass rush. And I know that's something that Coach Martello is big on. And there's a dive up the middle.
And great stop by the Bulldog front.
Looks like that's going to be Jace Fitzgerald on that TFL there.
So linebacker up there, and Fitzgerald, one of the leading tacklers this year for the Bulldogs.
Great contributor, transfer out of Montana State, doing a great job. Big play there. Here we go again, Wally, 2nd and 10. If they're going to go with this I formation again, it looks like they're loving that play action on these 2nd and 10s.
Well, they've converted 2 third downs.
Yep, and now they're going to line up in shotgun here, but they're in a condensed formation with 4 out wide.
So 2nd and 10 Saints. Here comes the Bulldog rush, and right over the middle is a nice pass, but caught by Holmes, but the Bulldog defender's waiting for it, so there was only a couple yards gain on it. It will be 3rd down and about 7.
Landon Charlton on the tackle for the Bulldogs. And here comes this crowd. I'm looking to see them get alive here, Wally. There hasn't been too much noise on these third downs, and the Bulldogs have still been getting after it. I expect that pass rush to be raring to go here again on another third and long situation.
Clock down to 23 seconds in the third quarter. Here comes Bulldog pressure.
Great job by Jace Fitzgerald there. Instead of ramming upfield and trying to go make the sack, he waits, bats the ball down, dead football play. Bulldogs get another huge stop.
Now, they're not in a situation where they would go for it here.
It's way too early still, Wally. There's 15 seconds left in the third quarter, though. This is a very quick quarter. That first half took over an hour and a half of real time. Right now, we're talking about 35 minutes barely for the third quarter. Now, I would pay attention, though, to a fake punt after them seeing the Bulldogs do that. That is an interesting play here.
Well, as we remembered, Arizona Christian pulled one off, too,
Yep.
on the Bulldogs. Kick is up. And
It's a huge punt. And it just went out at the 1, I believe, Wally.
1 or 2.
Oh, it did. It did go out at the 1 yard line, Wally.
Great punt by the Saints.
We have to give number 0 his flowers. Nick Klaus, this redshirt sophomore out of Seattle, Washington. Great play by him there. With how good this Carroll defensive front has played, this is a big deal getting the ball inside the 1 yard line. The momentum could shift massively here.
Carroll trailing only by 6,
And
13-7.
I don't know if you can see it from your angle, Wally, but that ball's inside the 1 yard line right now. The heels of the offensive line are going to be on the goal line.
Wow.
What a terrific punt.
Yeah, that wasn't a great punt. That was a terrific punt.
This is one of those special teams plays that can shift this momentum in a hurry. Look for the Bulldogs to try to run an inside zone play here, get a little bit of breathing room.
So 1st and 10, Bulldogs from the half-yard line, and Michael Palandri up the middle, and he picks up about 4 yards. Is that what you were talking about, a little breathing room?
A little bit of breathing room there. It's not going to be much, but it's still, when the heels of the offensive line are on the goal line, that is massive pressure on them. To get a few yards out, setting up at about that 4.5 yard line, that gives them a little bit of room here, opens up the playbook a little bit to maybe pass it. And we're going to have a fourth quarter here.
So after 3 quarters of football, it's Montana Western 13, Carroll College 7. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter after this on the Bulldog Sports Network.
We are champions of the character.
We are back at Bulldog Stadium. Wow, Tanner. What a game so far.
Yep, this game is living up to the hype, Wally. To the fans at home that don't realize or possibly aren't understanding the magnitude of this game, this is for all the marbles. Carroll Conference can win the Frontier Conference with a great fourth quarter right here, and the Bulldogs can win at least a share and do their job next week. Right now, everything's on the line.
And 1st and 10 Bulldogs from their own 4.5 yard line. Palandri back to pass, and
it looks like we're going to have a false start here. I see a flag down here. You might not be able to see it. I'm not sure who it was on.
so that
It's going to be on Eli Norse here. A little bit of a mental error there. It's going to back it up to about that 2-ish yard line.
they're not even going to take time off the clock on that one.
Nope, and it was a dead football play from the start. And now you're kind of in this situation where I think you've got to run the ball again. The left tackle and right tackle have their heels on the end zone right now.
So 2nd and 8. And handoff. Nope, Palandri's
Oh, my
got
goodness.
it.
He
Palandri's
keeps it.
got lots of yardage.
Spin move.
He's got a first down. Michael Palandri keeps the ball himself, and he's all the way out to the 15-yard line. Is that enough breathing room?
I think that's a little bit of breathing room, Wally. That is bulldog tough there by Michael Palandri. A little bit of a shaky spin move there on the outside. Get the first down. And now, playbook's back to wide open. You got the ball on your 15-yard line. You can do whatever you want now. Don't have to worry so much about the safety here.
So 1st and 10, Montana Western on their own 15-yard line. And remember, this drive started on the 1. Palandri. Handoff. And I think that
looked like Humphrey on the play. And he lowered his shoulder there. Oh, nope, that was Peter Gibson, I think. Okay. I see Humphrey running on the field right now. I was wondering, that's not really so much Humphrey's style to put his head down like that.
Well, Peter Gibson, a wrestler. And John Mears, a wrestler. Braden Swank, a wrestler. And they say wrestling made them a tougher football player.
Wrestling's definitely one of the hardest things you can do, Wally. Everything's easy in life after you wrestle.
And Gibson, 5-yard pickup, 4-yard pickup up to the 20. Second and about 6. Palandri back to pass. Right over the middle. Good for a first down.
Oh, he fumbled.
Another fumble.
And that's big. That's a play. Matt Hare catches the football. Fumbles the ball, fighting for more yards. The Bulldogs really need to quit doing that.
That's 4 fumbles.
Carroll College is keen on these guys fighting for more yards. They've got to catch the ball, get down, and live to see another play. The Bulldog defense has stayed so tough today, and they continue putting them in these odd situations. Sudden change here, Wally.
And the Saints 1 yard away, about 2 yards away from being in the Bulldog red zone. And that's got to be driving the offensive coaches crazy.
Yep, and I think it's even driving the defensive coaches crazy. And over there on Carroll College's sideline, let me tell you what, those defensive coaches know if they keep giving their offense the ball in plus territory, they're going to eventually get a touchdown.
So Purka, 1st and 10. Back to pass. Wide open is a...
It is going to be a touchdown to Carson Ochoa. And there you go, Wally. The momentum I was just talking about has all of a sudden shifted massively.
From black to white. From the black Western jerseys to the white Carroll jerseys.
Yeah, and it's just a tough football play when you let him sit in the pocket like that. Kenai Leilua was starting to get a little bit of pressure, but you can only hold for so long. And now with one of those sudden change situations, after this extra point, Carroll College could all of a sudden be leading in a game that it seems like they should be getting blown out in.
Well, 4 fumbles is going to take it away from you every time.
Yep.
Extra point is good. So, with 13:25 left to play in our ball game, it's Carroll College 14, Montana Western 13. Back with the Carroll kickoff after this on the Bulldog Sports Network. We're back at Bulldog Stadium. Carroll just took the lead after converting a fumble into a touchdown. That's what you want to do after a turnover. You go for the big play.
Like I said earlier, sudden change, Wally. The momentum can suddenly go like that. I'll be interested to see here if they do another little squib kick to one of these upbacks. They have really taken Kobe Tanioka's electrifyingness out of this game. He has not had the chance to return one of these balls. They might stick with that same game plan here now that the momentum's on their side.
Worked so far. Oh, nope, they kicked to him this time. Tanioka at the 5, the 10, the 15. He finds a little running room, finds more running room, finally brought
There we
down.
go. There's that electrifying
37.
Kobe Tanioka I was just talking about, folks. You get the ball in his hands. He's one tackle away right there from getting another 30, 40 yards, potentially a touchdown. That's a little bit of a momentum-shifting play to kind of give the Bulldog offense a little bit of breathing room here. Going to have that ball about that 35-yard line.
And he was the first player to record a kick return for a touchdown in the brand new Bulldog Stadium.
Yep. It was very interesting that they chose to kick him the ball right there. I wonder if that was a miscommunication. They've really stuck to that game plan early. It'll be interesting to see. I would imagine that'll be the last time he touches the ball if they kick off again.
So 1st and 10 Bulldogs from their own 35-yard line, trailing 14-13. Kirkley with the catch. Pickup of about 4 or 5.
There's another one of those hitch routes that Kirkley's been running. All of them have been running these hitches, getting the ball out quick, getting 4 to 5 yards every first down.
And I noticed he had extra caution with the ball.
Yep, and right now, Carroll College on their sideline is saying, okay, run that underneath stuff all day. We just don't want to give up the chunk play. They are the personification right now of a bend don't break off of defense. They've given up over 300 yards of offense, which is very unusual for them, but they are standing tall once they let them kind of drive the ball.
Palandri over the middle, and the ball was tipped as it came out. I'm not sure. I'm guessing. I'm going to take a wild guess and say it was your buddy Hunter Peck, because he was right there.
And like I said earlier, this defense now has a little bit of that momentum. That can make that fatigue go away real quick when things start going your way. I know that from experience. You see it in football games all over America. When you start to get a little bit of that momentum, that adrenaline kicks in really fast. And these guys know they're 12 minutes from a Frontier Conference championship right now on both sides.
So 3rd and 6 Bulldogs. Palandri back to pass. And
it does look like the ball touched the ground just a little bit there. Shipley coming back on a little bit of a comeback route. It was a great throw by Palandri. It's going to force a Bulldog punt here, Wally.
Well, we'll see if the Bulldog punter can play squib kick and right on the edge like Carroll's.
I know he's got it in him. Eddie Dewart, great player. Let's see if he can pin them deep. If they can pin them deep and force them to drive the football, I think the Bulldog defense can do their job.
So
it looks like Carroll might bring a little bit of pressure here. Nope, they're going to drop back and try to get a return out of it. Ooh, it's a little bit of a short punt.
Very short. Carroll's still. Oh, that was almost.
It almost was touched by Chris Askelson. That was a very close play there. But yeah, like I said, I was thinking Eddie Dewart was going to get a little more on that punt, but they're going to set up about that 32-yard line. Still a little bit longer of a field, obviously, than starting with the ball in plus territory. But look for Coach Martello right here to really get the Bulldogs raring to go.
First and 10 Saints. Saints with a 14-13 lead. 12:24 remaining, and remember, the Bulldogs have shot themselves in the foot 4 times with 4 fumbles.
Yep, there's been a lot of mental errors today for both sides, but mentally those turnovers can really be tasking on a team.
And would you say that Carroll is going to turn up the ground game now, take some minutes off the
I would
clock?
imagine they're going to go into what we'd call 4-minute offense. They know they haven't been able to move the ball all day. I don't see them taking a lot of risk here and just trying to bleed this clock and continue bleeding the clock. They know if this Bulldog offense gets that ball back, they're going to at least have a chance to score, so you want to keep the ball for as long as you can here.
2nd and 6 now for the Saints. Purka now back to pass and caught. All of where Carroll could barely move the ball in the first half, they found all the right answers in the second half.
I've been talking about momentum all day, Wally. In these big games in the Frontier Conference, the momentum can shift so fast, and now they're going hurry up here.
So 1st and 10 Saints. Purka back to pass, and he just throws it out of bounds. Good pressure by the Bulldogs.
Purka's really good at that, Wally. He's an experienced quarterback. This is his 4th year starting for Carroll College. He's been a great player for them for the last 4 years. One of the many great Carroll quarterbacks over the year. He has been really good about getting the ball thrown out of bounds. He hasn't taken a lot of these dead negative plays that force them into these 3rd and long, 2nd and long situations.
So 2nd and 10 now. Carroll. Purka back in shotgun. Back to pass. Here comes the Bulldog rush. He runs out of it. He's going to pick it up with these. Oh, he falls short. Stops short of the first down.
And that ball goes where he started his slide, so it's going to be about 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. I don't know if you'd like to see him get that first down there, but I know they'd like to get a little bit more yards out of that.
Well, it's going to be third. You're right. There, where he ended his slide and where the ball is marked is a difference of about
Well, and yeah,
3
it's
yards.
where that he starts that slide is where that ball goes, and
Yeah.
that's a great spot by the official. A lot of people don't know that, but it don't matter where your feet end up. It's about where the ball is. Right here, I'd expect some pressure from the Bulldogs. I'm not sure what Carroll's going to do here, but I'd imagine they're going to try and run routes at the sticks, get the ball out quick, and see if they can get this first down.
Purka back to pass. Here comes some pressure and
It's picked off.
intercepted.
Keegan Mufich on the pick. He's got room.
He's down the sidelines. Purka's the only one there, and Purka's the one that makes the tackle.
This crowd is going crazy right now, Wally. Keegan Mufich had 2 interceptions last year against Carroll College to basically win the football game for the Bulldogs. He does it again here today. He really faked out Purka on that kind of curl route. Like I said, trying to throw it to the sticks. He sits in his zone, makes the play. Huge play for the Bulldogs. Like we said, momentum back on the Bulldogs side.
And the Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10 on the Carroll 29-yard line.
Wally, I will say we have not seen this crowd stand up like that yet today.
No. Well, you jumped another 3 feet in the air.
Yeah, I'm probably going to possibly break some floorboards here in the new stadium.
Okay.
I'm getting pretty excited about this, being impartial the best I can. I would look for Carroll College to send a really good pressure here to stop this momentum.
Palandri in shotgun, rolls out, passing.
He's got Humphrey on the wheel
And
route.
Humphrey at the 1. Humphrey with the catch, and he's brought down at the 1.
Ladies and gentlemen at home, this Bulldog Stadium is rocking right now. There is not an empty seat in the house, and everybody is on their feet. That's a wheel route there, Wally. Jake Humphrey leaks out of the backfield. They didn't get enough pressure on Palandri, and he makes a huge throw. They got the ball inside the 5. Now, I will say the Bulldogs have been stopped inside the 5-yard line on 4 downs multiple times this year. It's very unusual for a Bulldog offense to have that happen. Let's see if they can get the ball in here with 4 chances from the 1-yard line.
Yeah. Well, red zone scoring has been, as you mentioned, been their bugaboo.
Well, and Carroll College is one of the best in the country in the red zone. I believe they've only given up 9 or 10 touchdowns on 30 attempts inside the red zone. That's crazy.
1st and goal, Bulldogs from the 1, and it's Palandri is going to carry it, and he's brought
He's going to
down.
be short, it looks like.
I think they're going to say no gain.
And they didn't have the ball quite at the 1. It did look like he gained about 1.5 yards. It looked like they did start at the 2.
Okay. So 2nd and goal, Bulldogs.
So right here, that's one of those QB power plays they have, Wally. We love that inside the red zone at Western. John Jones scored, 30-some touchdowns on that play. Michael scored 9 rushing touchdowns this year. I'd imagine they're going to get a healthy dose of Peter Gibson up the middle right here.
2nd and goal, Bulldogs. And
Peter Gibson's in for the touchdown, Wally.
So number 18, Mr. Legacy, scores a Bulldog touchdown, and the Bulldogs back out in front.
And they're going to go for 2 here, Wally. They want to make this a 7-point ball game. You don't want to have it as a 6-point ball game. You would like to be able to have that comfortability of knowing if they score a touchdown, they still have to make the extra point to tie the ball game up.
So what's the holdup? The official's got his hands out.
He's just holding play now.
Until
They'll probably
everybody
that
gets
play
set up.
clock should have been restarted. It looked like it started a little early to me. They've got to get this snap off.
So Palandri,
Kirkley's in.
Kirkley's in for the 2-point conversion, and it's a Bulldog 21 and the Saints 14.
There might be a flag on the play here. I'm not sure what's going on.
And we won't start yelling too much right now.
Ooh.
Oh, legal formation on the Bulldogs.
I think you have to kick the extra point now.
So another costly mistake.
And they're
here
gonna.
comes John Mears.
So at least it's a 6-point game. The Bulldogs last year blocked, I believe, 5-6 extra points. You never know what's going to happen. But they're obviously thinking they're not going to score a touchdown. That Bulldog defense lives for these opportunities.
So 19-14 now with a John Mears extra point attempt coming. 9:27 left in our game on a beautiful November afternoon in southwestern Montana. Kick is
A
up.
little bit of a bad snap there, Wally.
And kick is good.
Great
So,
job.
With 9:27 left, it's Montana Western 20, Carroll College 14. We'll be back with the Bulldog kickoff after this on the Bulldog Sports Network.
We are champions of the character.
We are back at Bulldog Stadium. Bulldogs just scoring. They converted after a Carroll turnover. We were talking, five Bulldog turnovers? Four Bulldog
Four Bulldog turnovers, I believe.
That was the very first Carroll one.
That's a huge first takeaway for the Bulldogs there. And like
costly.
we said, shifts the momentum so quickly in the Frontier Conference.
Oh, keeping it on the ground. And great special teams play by
Reese
the Bulldogs.
Stanish on the tackle. Great job. Kid out of Bozeman, Montana. Great tackle for him. Love seeing him have some success on the football field.
So decent field position for...
Yeah, Carroll College, this is one of their best starts of the day as for, the kickoff aspect of things and not sudden change. It'll be interesting to see how they play this on offense. Coming off a pick like that, I don't know how much they're going to want to continue throwing those intermediate routes now that the Bulldogs are kind of sitting on some of those things.
Well, let's find out what Purka has plans for. 1st and 10, Carroll at their own 30-yard line.
We call this an unbalanced formation right here, Wally. They had four wide receivers out to the right. They just run simple inside zone there, and it's just a dead football play.
And it was
looked like
swallowed up quick by the Bulldog defenders.
Like Keepa Sakalia and Devin Crow on the tackle. And like I was just saying, with that unbalanced formation, we call it unbalanced quads is what we would call it. Three wide receivers out, tight end on the right with him. For them to run inside zone to the backside when all guys are there, it's a good idea in theory, but also when you have penetration like that from the Bulldogs, it's a very hard play to be successful.
Kenyon Sargent in on that last stop too, and his dad, a Bulldog football alum.
Yep. Him and Coach Norris are really good friends.
Second. Oh, and the Bulldog. Oh, Purka does a great job of getting out of trouble. And the Bulldogs do a great job.
He's going to get about a yard there. It looked like there was a little bit of a potential hold there on number 94, Devin Crow. I apologize. Last time he told me, I said he was from Kamiakin, Washington. He went to Kamiakin High School in the Tri-Cities in Washington. He corrected me the other day, so I figured I'll give him his flowers. That was a great rush by him. And here we go. Bulldog pass rushers that are in right now, Kenai Lewa, Aiden Martin, Noah Rimmer, and Tyler Walker were all out for the last couple plays. They're fresh. I would assume they're going to get after the quarterback here, Wally.
So 3rd and 7 for the Saints. Purka back to pass again.
Here comes Tyler Walker.
And he breaks away from one or two and finally gets out of it, but not before the Bulldogs track him down and tackle him.
Great tackle by Keegan Movich on the play. The Bulldog, they love, it is really tough to get the quarterback down sometimes in those situations when you still got an offensive lineman kind of on you like that. Great job by Tyler Walker and Kenai Lewa bringing immediate pressure to Purka, and it's going to force another punt here.
Well, and the last Carroll punt was a pretty darn good one.
Yep, and we're starting to get into a little bit of not so much do or die time for Carroll College, but you're giving the ball back to a Western offense that's got the momentum back on their side and has been able to move the football, running the football in the second half.
And that time you're talking about 7:18 remaining in our ball game, and a little pressure put on, and Eli Norris calls for a fair catch. And the Bulldogs will take over at their own 25-yard line. 1st and 10 from there. And Riley Martello happy with his special teams. Is Riley the special teams coach?
He's one of them. They actually divvy up their special teams duties here at Montana Western. Every coach is kind of responsible for something. I believe Coach Martello is responsible for punt return and kickoff, and then it's kind of divvied up between the rest of the coaches. But here, I would look for Peter Gibson, who's in the backfield, I believe, to start the drive, to get a healthy dose of carries here, take some time off the clock, let that clock run down to about 2 or 3 seconds on the play clock.
So 1st and 10 Bulldogs from their own 25, and Pete Gibson gets the ball and picks up decent yardage on 1st down. And up off the bottom of the pile is your buddy again.
Hunter Peck on the play again, man. He's having a great day. This Carroll College defensive line, though, has been on the field for a really long time in the second half. I actually made a mistake earlier, said Carroll College actually won the time of possession battle in the first half. I think it was 17 to about 13, and now it is much different. The Bulldogs have held the ball for the majority of the second half. That defensive line has to be getting tired.
2nd and 6 for the Bulldogs. Ball marked at there, and Palandri out to Gibson, and he picks up the 1st down. So if he's not going to run the ball, he's going to catch the ball and then get some healthy yak afterwards.
Yep, absolutely. Peter Gibson getting a lot of his touches. So early in the season, they've given the ball to Jake Humphrey so much this year. You know, it was kind of opposite last year, riding the hot hand. Jake Humphrey has had such a great season. And right now, Peter Gibson has the hot hand, so they're giving it off to him. But be prepared when Peter starts to get tired. Jake Humphrey's going to come in, and he brings a little bit of a different element than Peter does. So they're going to have to be prepared for that on the Carroll College side of the football.
Clock winds its way down to 6 minutes left to play. Bulldogs with a 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Palandri handing off to Gibson. Gibson wind his way through the Carroll defense all the way down to the 50-yard line. So big 15-yard pickup by Pete Gibson.
The Bulldog offensive line relishes in these moments, Wally. Any offensive line does, for that matter. Right now, they know the game's in their hands. They are going up against the best defense in the entire conference, possibly the country, and they are imposing their will right now. And right now, we're starting to get to the point they've got 4 downs. There's going to be another possible 4 minutes run off the clock before there's even an opportunity for a Carroll College opportunity with the football.
And as we look over there, both teams with 3 timeouts. We'll be looking at those. Those will be important numbers as we get towards the end of this ball game. Palandri catch to Norse. He avoids 1 tackle, picks up about 3 yards. 4:53 left to play. Bulldogs leading the Saints 20-14.
So there's one of those screenplays to Norse, Wally. That's just an extension of the run game. Get the ball out quick, let him get yards. Like I've said on multiple broadcasts, usually the first guy doesn't tackle him. Right there, they did a great job getting him down to 2nd and 7. But again, they're going to have to start calling timeouts here soon. I'd imagine one more 1st down. Troy Purcell's going to be thinking, I've got to call my timeouts to make sure my offense touches the football again.
My friend Bob Beers used to call a short pass a run. That was his definition.
Yep, just an extension of the run game there.
Yeah. Palandri to Gibson. Gibson finds more running room all the way down to the Carroll 38-yard line. So the Montana Western offensive line opening up all kinds of running lanes for Pete Gibson. 1st and 10 Bulldogs. The clock winds its way down to 3:50.
You know, with the 2-minute timeout in college, Coach Troy Purcell doesn't have to call his timeouts right now. But if they get a negative play here, look for him to possibly call one of those timeouts.
Give his offense a chance to do something. Palandri in shotgun. Hands off to Gibson again. This time Carroll's waiting for him and only picks up a couple of yards.
And I see Troy Purcell on the sideline. He's just sitting there cool, calm, and collective. It doesn't look like he's going to call timeout yet. So they might wait till 2nd or 3rd down to possibly use him if they feel comfortable with the situation.
So clock down to 3:15. And it's 2nd and 9, so only a 1-yard pickup by Gibson.
One thing to look at right now, Garrett Warden's not in the game, number 9. He is the home run all-star for that defensive line. He can play all 3 positions. He's not in the football game right now.
Palandri in motion is Norse, and Palandri's going to keep the ball himself, and he picks up big yardage.
And it's going to be that 3rd and short situation. And right now, the next play will be the 2-minute timeout. So right now, if you're Troy Purcell, you don't have to call your timeouts. You can sit there, let your defense gather themselves. If they get a stop there, it'll be the 2-minute timeout. But they are in John Muir's field goal range as well, though, which would make it a 2-possession ball game at this point.
3rd and 2. 3rd and 2 for the Bulldogs.
This isn't quite the ball game, Wally, but if they get a big play here, a big first down, it certainly could be.
Well, the clock winding down to 7. Pete Gibson with the ball, and he's going to get the first down for the Bulldogs. He picked up about 10 yards on that carry all the way down to the Carroll 22-yard line, and we've hit that 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes left to play, and it's Montana Western 20, Carroll College 14. Back with the final 2 minutes after this on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Montana Western, our flexible schedule and focus on learning through experience are just right for your world today. Experience One, where you take one course at a time for 18 days and then move on to your next course, is designed to work for you, whether you plan to come to campus, want to stay close to home, or if you need to earn your degree while working or raising a family. And Montana Western is the most affordable university in Montana. Experience the difference, only at University of Montana Western.
He just
We're back at Bulldog Stadium. 2 minutes left to play. Montana Western leading the Saints of Carroll 20-14. Bulldogs with a 1st and 10 on the Carroll. We'll call it, what would you say, the 28-yard line or the 29-yard line?
It looks like the 25, actually, Wally, not the 24.
Okay.
So 5 yards up. Yep.
Well, I was a history major. I wasn't a math major, so. Palandri, another keeper by Palandri, and he picks up yards right up.
He picks up big yardage. There's a Troy Purcell timeout, like I was saying, Wally. He's got to take all 3 of them, but you're getting 5 yards on first down. Right now, Wally, and this is just simple mathematics, they get a first down, this game's over.
So now I'm beginning to think that maybe the fatigue you had talked about with Carroll's defense is now beginning to show itself.
It has showed itself. This D-line is still getting a ton of pressure, but the Bulldogs are simply getting man on man, and it is just about my guys are better than yours. We're going to run the football. You know what's coming in these 2-minute situations for this offense. They're in 4-minute offense right now where you know they're going to run the football, but it's whether you could stop it or not. This Carroll College defense has been so great all year, but in a game like this where they've had to play so many snaps, so many hard, violent snaps that you just start to wear with fatigue, you feel like the momentum's not on your side. I would look for Garrett Warren or Hunter Peck to have a huge play in this next few plays, and if they don't, it could be a ball game.
Carroll back out on the field. Only 6 seconds went off the clock before Purcell called his timeout.
Yep.
So 1:54 left to play. Bulldogs with a 2nd, and we'll say a long 5. Palandri's going to keep the ball again, and he's going to pick up the first down, and he just falls down.
That's a great job. That's a great job. And Wally, that's going to be ball game here. He's got 2 timeouts left. So he's going to have to take one here. You got 3 downs. The Bulldogs can take a knee on this. This game's virtually over.
So first and 10, Bulldogs. Ball is marked at the Carroll 14-yard line. And the clock winding down.
It looks like they elected to not take a timeout there. They're going to... I don't know if that's just concession from Troy Purcell or if he's waiting for first or second down to take the timeouts. Yep, that he waited till that's an interesting. I'd imagine they're going to put some time back on the clock here.
So with timeout on the field, it's Montana Western 20, Carroll 14. Back with the final minute and so much, depending on how much money they put on the clock. We'll be back on the Bulldog Sports Network. Stadium 1 minute and 44 seconds, so they put almost 30 seconds back on the clock.
Now here, if my math's right, Wally, they've got one timeout, I believe. They're going to run a play, call the timeout. They could potentially get the ball back with a few seconds left, but now you're in chip shot range for John Mears for a 2-possession football game. But the Bulldogs have fumbled the ball 4 times,
yes.
So this is not over by any means.
As they say, it's not over till it's over. So 1st and 10 Bulldogs, and Pete Gibson up the middle for a couple.
Timeout Troy Purcell here for Carroll College.
That's his last one. So Carroll calls their final timeout of the game, and we'll take a quick timeout and be back with more on the Bulldog Sports Network.
For nothing.
We're back at Bulldog Stadium, 1 minute, 41 seconds left to play. It is 2nd and 9 Montana Western. And Palandri keeps the ball and down to the 10-yard line, maybe the 9-yard line, depends on where they mark it. But remember, the clock continues to wind.
And right now, Wally, I think we're going to see the Bulldogs probably wind this down all the way, maybe take a timeout, probably take a knee, see what they decide to do on 4th down. There's probably going to only be enough time left to probably kick a John Mears field goal if I were to guess. But you never know what's going to happen on this 3rd down play either.
No.
And it does look like they're going to line up in shotgun formation and run a play here.
So 3rd and 7 for the Bulldogs. Ball is at the Carroll 9-yard line. Oh, and in for the Bulldogs.
And that's going to be the game, Wally.
Is Pete Gibson.
Peter Gibson.
Peter
that
Gibson
is one
scores the touchdown for the Bulldogs.
That is one heck of a story. Number 18, Bulldog legend. His uncle's a Hall of Famer. His roots are deep in Beaverhead County. For him to get that touchdown on this field, this is the first truly signature win on this field for the Bulldogs. And Peter Gibson, 2 possessions in a row, just clinched it.
He's making MJ very proud.
He certainly is right now. We know he's smiling up there down on the Bulldogs right now, watching over. And Wally, just to mention this before John Mears kicks this extra point, what's more than likely this game is over, the Bulldogs are going to at least clinch a share of their 3rd conference title in the last 4 years.
A lot will come to pass next week in Butte when Montana Tech hosts Carroll.
Yep.
That'll be another good football.
That'll be another great football game. John Muir's good on the extra point. The Bulldogs are going to be up 27-14. You never know what's going to happen, but a lot would have to happen for Carroll College to be able to pull out this win.
Yeah, they'd have to score 14 points in 50 seconds. And as I look down there, I see a lot of former Bulldog football players.
I see a ton of former Bulldogs here. It's been great to converse before the game with all of them.
They're all a little older. They've got few gray hairs. Their poundage isn't quite the same as it was when they were going to school here, but they're in the stands.
Plenty of old Bulldogs here, Wally. The old dogs always come out and support. And now, in what could be the first signature win on this field, the Bulldogs, they get this game to zeros on the clock. They win this football game. They will be a win from their second outright Frontier Conference championship in a row.
And unbeaten at Bulldog Stadium.
Yep, and back-to-back. The Bulldogs have only lost 3 home games in the last 5-6 years, with one of them being the College of Idaho and then Rocky and Montana Tech a few years ago. But the Bulldogs have been so good at home, and even with the new stadium, the momentum has stayed the same. The Bulldogs just don't lose in Dillon.
And there's a kickoff and return down to the 35-yard line.
And
46 seconds.
Yep, and right now
time.
Coach Martell is telling his guys, hey, we'll give up the underneath stuff, no big plays. Let's keep them stopped right here, get a huge play. They're going to try and end this football game with either a takeaway or a sack.
And now the crowd is it's a good thing we're a little higher than everybody, because I think by the time everybody stands up, we would not be able to see anything. And we have a new quarterback. I don't think Purka's in there anymore.
It is Purka. It's number 11, yep.
He's back to pass.
And he's going to
goes out of bounds.
And actually right there, you see Keegan Mufich kind of signaling the clock should still run. Technically, if Askelson doesn't carry forward momentum out of bounds, the clock is supposed to keep running. He ran out of bounds backwards. The clock should have kept running on that play.
It has stopped at 41 seconds. So 2nd and 2, Carroll. Here comes the Bulldog rush, and there's a Carroll first down. Caught. That one caught.
By Askelson.
You say that much better than I ever could.
Well, he's been on the scouting report for the last 3 years, so it's easy to remember his name. He's a great player for Carroll College. He's a 3-year starter. He's playing great today, but like I said, they just weren't able to create enough big plays to make a difference in this football game. That defense played their hearts out for Carroll College, and the offense wasn't able to match that same energy today.
35 seconds left to play. Bulldogs leading 27-14. And pass way over the head of the intended Carroll receiver.
Noah Rimmer with a great hit on the quarterback for a little bit of a wrap play, kind of what Western would have like as a wrap for the nose. Gets a big hit on Purka. About 30 seconds left in the game.
30 seconds exactly.
30 seconds exactly. And you can feel the energy in the stadium. It's pretty quiet right now, but you know when that clock hits 0, these fans are going to be electric.
Well, I think they're just saving up their energy for that final cheer.
Well, and you also know there's the Beaver game today this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Going to be kicking off here soon. Beaver playoff game.
Purka directing traffic finally finds a receiver, and it's intended for a Carroll player, but it was closer to a Bulldog defender. Intended was Carson Ochoa, and that's the Saints down to.
They're down to 3rd down here, Wally, and you're kind of getting into this time where we can say that the Bulldogs are more than likely going to win this football game, kind of no matter the outcome here. We'll see if they try to get one more big chunk play, maybe throw one at the end zone, but at this point it could just be for pride.
20 seconds, all the time remaining. Bulldogs lead 27-14. Purka passing and stepping out of bounds quickly as your buddy, the guy who's been all the scouting reports for the last 20 years.
Yep, and he has another great catch. He's, padding the stats here a little bit at the end, but Carroll College's offense hasn't been able to get much going.
Well, the defenders are letting them.
Yeah, they're okay with letting them catch that underneath stuff, make a tackle, let them get out of bounds. 15 seconds left. These Bulldog players can feel it, Wally. When in these games, when you know you've won, there's no better feeling in the world. And I know these players are looking to get through these 15 seconds and celebrate with their teammates and their families.
The longest 15 seconds.
The longest.
Long 15 seconds. Pirka back to pass again.
Here comes Rimmer with the pressure.
And he just throws it up in the air, and it's going to be intercepted. The ball game is over with. I didn't see who.
It is going to be Aiden Prado with the pick, and the Bulldogs are going to win the football game, ladies and gentlemen. It is electric here at Bulldog Stadium. Aiden Prado, sophomore out of Washington. Great play for him. I love seeing him get that pick on that play. And everybody knows, I see Coach Purcell already on Western sideline. There's still 5 seconds left in this ball game.
Yeah, he's shaking hands.
He's coming to this Bulldog. I've never seen something like this. He's going to have these last 5 seconds on the Bulldogs. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Coach Purcell is indeed on the Bulldogs sideline for the last 5 seconds of this football game. I've never seen anything like this.
He's a class guy.
And look, they're taking pictures with Troy Purcell on the sideline right now. I think they need to be respectful to him. He is just over here coming to congratulate these players.
He's shaking hands with all the players. And
it's an awesome sign of respect, honestly, at this point, Wally. For him to celebrate those, to be on the sidelines for these last 5 seconds. He's a great man, great coach. The Montana Western got the best of the Carroll College Saints today, and the Bulldogs have clinched at least a share of the Frontier Conference Championship.
So our final score, Montana Western 27, Carroll College 14. We'll be back with a wrap-up, and we'll do it after these messages on the Bulldog Sports Network.
That was the weirdest.
We're back at Bulldog Stadium. Stats still being tabulated, but we've got to pack up all our equipment and head over to the gym because on the Bulldog Sports Network tonight, it's the women of Montana Western playing Southeastern of Florida in their second home game. So let's wrap things up quickly. Final score from Bulldog Stadium, Montana Western 27, Carroll College 14. We'll see you in about 3 hours on the Bulldog Sports Network with Bulldog Basketball.